they're taking information, they're taking descriptions of the officers. They have no idea how any other cops could have possibly picked her up because every cop was slammed until the last 20 minutes. There's
too scrubby. Well, you know.
They're taking information.
While watching Scrubby, and yeah, let's just get on rest. I was just on a server, but you know, for some reason my rest crashed. You know, because I tagged out, or I pressed the Windows button, and you know, it just tabbed out.
No way anybody could have come to pick her up. And keep in mind, this is the same department. It's not like, you know, LAPD came to get her and then, you know, like LA County PD came later. No, it's the same police department. Their cops did not come get her at all. And keep in mind, this is the girl who claimed that they were going to come find her because she witnessed the stabbing. Isn't that like, dude, I'm getting chills down my spine just thinking about it. Meaning that these people who did this crime or whatever knew where she was, knew that they had called the police, somehow intercepted the police call. Like, that's what's weird too. They called 911 and then 20 minutes later fake cops show up at your door ready to go, waited the appropriate amount of time with all the information from the call, but they weren't even cops. We have no idea how in the world they got the information, no idea who gave them the information. All we know is that the girl is now missing. They give her the information, they've checked the house, they know they're not guilty, and now this girl just vanished into thin air with fake police officers. So they give the police all the information and they go to the girl's house to see if, you know, maybe the police officers just didn't report it. And sure enough, nobody's in the house and there's signs of a break-in. What, like, this is so scary, dude. So they go to the girl's house and it's been broken into and ransacked, and basically anything of value and anything of importance is gone. So this girl goes with these fake cops and they go to her house to see if she's there, and the house has been ransacked and there's literally nothing left. Like, everything that was in the house is now gone. And so the police at this point know they have a crime on their hands. They don't know who the fake cops were, how they got any information, how they got the 911 call, how they knew the address, how they knew how to dress. All they know is that this girl is very clearly missing. So they start a missing persons report. They have her name. They contact her family. They contact everybody. Nobody has any idea where she is. She had just poofed into thin air, and ever since the 80s, nobody has seen her since. And if that doesn't make you freaked out, I don't know what will. Fake cops came, kidnapped this girl that apparently witnessed a stabbing and was afraid people were going to come after her, ransacked her apartment, and then she was never seen or heard from again. I don't know if it was the Illuminati or what, but all I know is that is some next level terrifying stuff to think about. That one day you can just be chilling, waiting for the police to come get you. Next thing you know, fake police come and kidnap you. That's gotta be one of the scariest things I've ever heard.
Oh yeah, this is like his 12 days.
So when I was in like the summer between 7th and 8th grade, my parents really wanted us to, you know, become one with nature and see the country or whatever. So they decided that we were going to get dragged on this road trip to Yellowstone. And I live in Las Vegas. I've grown up in Las Vegas my entire life, and it's about a 3-day drive. If you do it like pretty long drives at a time. But my parents wanted us to have, you know, this couple week-long road trip, so they basically decide that we're gonna drive 4 hours a day and then stop and stay in crappy motels and, you know, have ourselves a great time on this family vacation. And obviously at the time I was not too hyped on the idea, because when they told us this, they also told us that they were going to be taking away our phones for the duration of the trip to force us to bond as a family. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, it's cool to bond with your family and all, but I was a 12-year-old and the only sibling still at home was only 5, so I don't know what type of conversations I'm gonna have with him. Are we gonna, like, greatly dissect why the alphabet is in order for a specific reason? And it's not like I have much in common with my parents, no offense, but they're kind of boomers, so I was not too happy about the prospect of being trapped in the car with a 5-year-old and both of my parents for weeks on end with nothing to distract myself. And it goes about as you expect. Obviously, when you're 12, you're a little bit edgy, and I'm pretty annoyed with my parents by like the end of the first day. And at the end of the first day, we were in the middle of nowhere in rural Nevada. And like in Nevada, okay, we're already not a very big state. We don't have a huge population, but even then, like 90% of the population is in like 3 cities that are all right next to each other. or you know, in 2 different areas. There's a bunch of people in the north in Reno, and there's a bunch of people down south in Las Vegas, and there is nothing else in the entire state. I mean, sure, you have like a couple towns with, you know, 3 grocery stores and 1 stoplight, but it's nothing crazy. But we're in the middle of nowhere, Nevada, and my dad, for whatever reason, didn't decide to look ahead and see where hotels were along the way. They just said, we'll wing it and stay wherever, it'll be fun. Which, I mean, is kind of fun, except when you can't find a motel because you're like in the middle of the desert and there's nowhere to go. And as we're driving around, it gets later and later, and at about midnight, we pull up to this motel that just looks like something where 87 people have disappeared before, okay? I genuinely thought it was closed. Half of the motel has like the roof caved in, and it's very obvious that nobody's staying in those rooms. The sign has like half of its lettering out. It's looking like somebody with like a weird stutter is trying to say the name because it keeps flashing off and on. You know that Vine where it's like, welcome to Target? It was very similar to that. It's like blinking, but in a very creepy way because it's an old sign, you know, and half the letters are out. And sure enough, my dad's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go speak to the guy. I'll be right back. And so we're chilling in the car, and I'm looking around this empty, like, motel parking lot at 1 in the morning. And 12-year-old me doesn't know a whole lot about the real world yet, but 12-year-old me knew enough to realize that people standing at windows of cars handing packages back and forth at 1 in the morning in a motel parking lot probably aren't up to much good. There were people standing outside their rooms with, like, pit bulls on chain leashes just looking angry. And overall, man, I just got the vibe that, you know, I didn't really belong here. As a kid who grew up in the suburbs, I'm not very well adapted for staying in ghetto motels, alright? So my dad comes back, and the first thing he says is that it's, you know, it's quaint is his description of it, which is an adult's way of saying it's not very nice. So we all go in and we open the door to our motel room, which still uses a key, by the way. Like, they ain't even got this card thing yet, which became standard in what, 1992, since before I was born? If something was 7 years old when I was born, then it's old, alright? I'm about to be 21 years old. I should not still be using a key to get into this room. And we open the door, and you know when something just smells old? Like, my dad comes back, and the first thing he says is that it's, you know, smell that just makes you low-key want to throw up a little bit. That's what this room smells like, and it looks straight out of the 60s. The bed looks like it hasn't changed, you know? The TV is like low-key a tube TV from maybe the 80s, maybe. The picture's all dingy and faded. The light when you turn it on is like a half-dead light bulb that's flickering off and on. It legitimately looks like where a Saw victim would wake up in one of those movies. So we're...
Wait a second, I gotta see this. But... close that just in case.
Give me your melons.
No.
Give me your melons.
Okay. Beep, beep. Baby, can you protect me? This guy keeps stealing my melons.
Okay, I will. Don't worry, baby. Hey, you! Stop now!
Fuck off.
It's not finished yet!
Go back home, you loser. Give me your gold.
Okay, sorry, sir.
Yeah, loser.
All around me are familiar faces.
You're not strong enough to protect me.
But baby...
Shut the fuck up. You woman, follow me. So, you want to know my secret?
Yes.
It's hard to say, but... Ah, not again!
Hey, you! Stop using vape!
You a simp!
So, this is your secret?
If you want to be an alpha male, you should download vape with the code MyFriend10. You will have access to minus 10% off. Don't be a loser. Be the king and get all the females you want.
Alright, let's...
Yo.
Johnny Coon, can I borrow a pencil?
Oh yeah, sure, you can borrow a pencil, it's no problem. Wait a damn second. What the fuck you just called me?
Oh, I'm sorry. Is your name not Johnny?
Yeah, my name is Johnny, but what you say after that?
I don't know, Johnny Coon. What did I say?
You just called me a coon.
Oh, yeah. You're Johnny Coon.
Oh, hell nah. This is my first day hearing you niggas already discriminating. I'm telling on you. Teacher?
Yes, Johnny Coon.
Yeah, she's over here calling me a coon. Wait. You just called me one too? What the fuck? Why y'all calling me that?
What do you mean? I don't understand what you're trying to say, Johnny Coon.
Okay, man. Now we're starting to get disrespectful here. Now, I done told y'all to stop doing
What
that.
are we doing, Johnny Coon? Please explain to us what we're doing to you to make you upset, Johnny Coon.
I'm about this close to shoving my finger up your Japanese ass.
Whoa, Johnny Coon, calm down.
You better back the fuck back before I knock the Asian out of
Whoa,
you.
Johnny Coon, that's inappropriate and racist.
What? You have been racist this entire time. What are you talking about? You've been calling me a coon.
Oh, no, Johnny Coon. Coon is just something we say in Japan to refer to a male friend or somebody of a higher rank.
Oh, okay. I guess it'll make sense for her to call me coon since she's a girl referring to me and we're classmates. But for you to call me coon, it wouldn't really make much sense because I'm not your friend, nor am I a higher rank than you.
Shut the fuck up, Coon.
Alright, we gotta go back to scrubby. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is actually loading. I'm not sure if my PC is powerful. Wait, to respond. It's not powerful enough, man. I don't think it.
We're in the room, and at the time when I was 12, before we had gone on this vacation, I already had like a super screwed up sleep schedule. I don't know why. I thought it was really cool to stay up till 3 in the morning, and I've never really fixed it. I've always been staying up really late, and I had to share a bed with my 5-year-old brother, which wasn't too bad, except for the fact that he just like loved to judo kick me in the side every 20 minutes while I was trying to sleep. And it doesn't help that my dad snores like a chainsaw that has been dropped on top of a clown in the circus. He's just really loud at snoring, so I'm getting kicked in the ribs by a 5-year-old every 20 minutes trying to sleep. When I am awake, my dad is snoring like a chainsaw. I'm just not getting sleep. And 12-year-old me also had this idea that I was like already mature and an adult and could handle myself, you know? I think every 12-year-old has this idea that they're low-key a grown-up. And listen, you guys are definitely at the start of becoming your own person, okay? I'm not saying you're not mature, but you know, you're still 12, and the possibility of being
Why is it so laggy?
kidnapped is pretty strong. But for whatever reason, I decide that I was annoyed, so I get up, I put my, like, you know, actual clothes on, I change out of my pajamas because I was 12 and had pajamas, and I decide that I'm gonna go explore the motel. Keep in mind, I told you that it looks like a dilapidated rundown section of like Silent Hill video games, but whatever, I'm just gonna go see what's out there. So I step out and like, you know, the air's pretty warm, it's a summer night in Nevada, so I start like walking into this sketchy motel parking lot, and there really isn't much. Like I said, there's a couple dudes like smoking cigarettes with their pit bull outside their motel room, and I'm like, all right, probably not gonna go over there and bug them. So I just kind of start walking around the back of the motel, and I get around the back and I see like where the dumpsters are for the motel. And for whatever reason, 12-year-old me, you know, is like, oh, well, I guess I'll go see what's up in the dumpsters, you know? So I go over there for whatever reason. I really don't know why. And as I'm like looking in to see if there's anything cool in there, because I don't know, I get this like feeling on the back of my neck that somebody is watching me. Somebody is watching me. So I like walk out of the little room the dumpster's in. I wasn't looking in the dumpster. I just looked in that little room. I don't know why. And I look into the lobby, which you could see from the hotel, and the creepy dude who's in charge of the desk, who's like got this weird balding thing and the glasses they give people in prison, those like clear big ones. And he's just smiling at me, which is not a very nice thing. Don't get me wrong, sure, he could have just been a friendly old man smiling at the kid, looking in his dumpsters at 1 in the morning, but that was not the vibe that I got. And I immediately just get this vibe to like leave. I need to get back to the room. I just have this bad feeling in the pit of my stomach. So I go to walk back to my room, but I have to go like past the lobby. And as I'm going past the lobby, the door opens and creepy dude comes out and he's like, hey. And I'm like, hi, you know, I don't really know what to say. I'm 12. I don't know how to interact with creepy people. Being kidnapped was not on my bucket list. And he looks at me and he gives me this like weird, he checks me out. You know what I mean? Like, you know when somebody looks you up and down and very obviously, you know, is like checking you out in a weird way. He does that and he says, why are you out of your room so late? You know, which is a very weird question to ask a child at 1 a.m, I guess. Why? You know, it should be like, go back to your room. It's 1 a.m, but he's like, why are you out so late? Like the way he says it is just weird, you know? So I couldn't sleep, you know, I just was gonna see what's around. He's like, well, it's kind of dangerous in the parking lot at night. You should come in and you can watch TV with me in the office. I have a TV there. And like the way he says it is just weird, dude. And I'm like, you know, I'm good. I'm gonna go back to the room. I'm gonna try to go back to bed. He's like, no, come on, come watch TV. Come on, like I'll put it on Cartoon Network. And I'm like, no, I'm really good. And he says, no, come watch TV. And like the way he says come watch TV is very angry. It doesn't come off like somebody that really just wants to watch TV with you. It sounds like somebody that wants to get to a creepy motel office with a 12-year-old. And I don't really know what to do because I'm 12 and it's uncomfortable. So I'm like, no. And he's like, come on, come watch TV. And I'm like, no. And as I'm, you know, getting nervous because I'm a kid who's not knowing what to do in the situations, okay? Strange men don't come ask me to watch TV with them at 1 a.m. very often and offer cartoons. It's just not something that happens. I swear, like a superhero, dude, those dudes who are smoking cigarettes come around the corner and they like look at the situation and I think they can see the fear in my eyes, which is pretty obvious. They're like, is this dude bothering you? And I'm like, no. And they're kind of looking at the situation. And the guy who was, you know, in like the office is, oh no, I was just telling him to go back to your room. Go back to your room. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go back to my room. And I like voomph to my room as fast as I can. My little 12-year-old legs are moving like a bullet, just as fast as I could to get out of there because creepy dude was really creepy. I get back to my room, I like close the door and I just lay down in bed and I can't sleep. Like I'm sitting there wide awake and I'm hearing outside and like as the dudes go back to, you know, smoke their cigarettes and pet their dog, they're like, man, that was creepy. Like that dude was whack. Because this motel sucked and the windows were about as thin as, I don't know, something thin, SpongeBob's skin or whatever. And yeah, the next morning, my dad obviously is like, hey Ryan, you don't look like you got much sleep. And I'm like, oh, I didn't, you know, your snoring kept me up. He's like, oh, well, you know, at least you didn't go exploring the motel. It's kind of creepy, huh? And I'm like, yeah. Sure, I'm glad I didn't do that. That would be a really stupid move, Dad. That would make me a big idiot who had to get saved because I was about to definitely get yeeted on by a creepy dude in the motel office. And leaving, which was pretty early in the morning to like get driving again. The dude was like in his office and stared at me the entire time I was helping my dad load up the car and like get in the car. So definitely a creepy dude. I usually, you know, am pretty chill with most people, but there was just a vibe about this man that threw me off, and no bueno. So when I was 17, there started this rumor spreading around my high school. Or I didn't start it, but like I heard this rumor that was spreading around my high school about this abandoned water park that was on the way to California. I live in Vegas, and there actually is an abandoned water park on the way to California. And there started to be this rumor going around my high school that there was this cult that would go there and like perform sacrifices, and there was all this crazy stuff all over the place. And being 17 and really stupid, me and a couple of my close friends were like, dude, we've got to go check this out. Are you kidding me? This is straight out of Scooby-Doo. Like, you know, Shaggy and the gang would be pulling up to this abandoned water park to catch a ghost. FPS, so we decide that we're gonna go see and find if there's this cult there, like doing all these rituals or any proof of it, and be the coolest kids in school. Because obviously the entire school is talking about it, everyone's going crazy, so we're like, look, we're basically gonna be celebrities if we go here. So me and my friends decide we're gonna do this, and I have to find a reason to get out of the house. The water park is like 45 minutes out of town on the way to California, and we want to be there for a while, so I have to basically find a reason to convince my parents to let me go 45 minutes away from home randomly in the middle of the night with no explanation and get away with it. And crappily, this just happens to be during the time of like when iPhones were first popping. So I think I had like an iPhone 4, maybe an iPhone 5, like, but it was still new, you know? So my parents could track my location, but it was still pretty primitive and new. So we're trying to think of ways to sneak out, and we're like, all right, here's what we're gonna do. This Friday night, everyone's gonna tell their parents that were gonna go to blah blah blah's house and stay up late, stay up all night playing D&D. Yes, I play D&D. I'm a nerd. It's actually really fun. Don't knock it till you try it, because it's just Plus, when we're there, this is at the time where you can like sign in and out of your Life 360 profile or like the Find My Friends app. So we're basically like, all right, we're all gonna sign in to iPads. We had this friend who, you know, was kind of bougie and happened to have enough give us enough to cover ourselves. So we sign into our iPad, so our tracker says we're at his house, and we don't tell his parents where we're going because they were asleep. These kids, so they're out, and we're like, all right, bet. So we hop into this car. So they basically tell me that I have to ride in the trunk of this car 45 minutes away to a water park. And because I'm young and stupid, I'm like, yeah, sure. So I climb in the trunk, and for the next 45 minutes, and thankfully we don't get hurt. Please don't ever do anything this stupid. The reason I'm including it is because, like, at the time I thought it was cool. You know, I was a teenager, no big deal. But in retrospect, now that I've grown up a little bit, don't do anything ever, okay? If there's not enough seats and seat belts, then take a different car or something, because it's definitely not worth the risk. But the image for how stupid I was. So whatever, we get there to this abandoned water park and it's pitch black, and we had only brought 2 flashlights, and for whatever reason, before we had gone to the water park or packed the flashlight battery, we're just like, whatever, if they're flashlights, they're in the garage, they probably won't. Enough, as luck would have it, the batteries don't work, and one does, but it's really dim. Like, it's to the point where it's more creepy than it is helpful to brighten anything up. Like, it's just enough light to make out the shape of the thing that's about to eat. It's not actually water park. So we start exploring, and because there's this like scary rumor that there's been human sacrifices and stuff, every small thing that we find, we make like the biggest deal out of. And we're slowly making our way up this hill because the water slide went downhill, which makes sense saying it out loud. I'm putting 2 and 2 together. And at the top of this hill was like this little shack where people used to wait. And just walking up to this, like looking at this shack, it just gave me this very evil, creepy vibe. Like, it just did not seem like the type of thing that I all my friends are hyped. They're like, no, let's go to this shack. And keep in mind, we don't have any flashlights, so it's pitch black. The only thing lighting up this water park is like the moon, and every now and then it's getting covered by clouds, and we have to stop and just sit in dark silence for minutes at a time. So I'm tired, the tension's getting to be a little much, and we're climbing up this hill to go to this like shack. And the entire time I ate some really bad Taco Bell, and I'm feeling it just inch its way down my gut before it explodes into the toilet. Like, that's a very gross way of saying this, but I'm not bad feeling. And I trust my gut a lot. I don't really know like why I've always trusted my gut, but I trust it a lot. And I have a bad feeling, so I'm getting nervous, but I don't want to be the person that's a win. So we get up to like right outside of this little shack, and sure enough, everybody is not brave enough to go in. And I want to get out of here, because at this point, everything in my body is telling me to run. Like, I don't know why, but my body is screaming run, but they don't want to leave till we see the shack. So I decide that I'm just going to go in first. YOLO, blaze it, who cares? So I go in, and it smells horrible. And on the floor in like black spray paint, sure enough, is this ginormous pentagram, which freaks me out. So I back out, and I'm like, oh my god, it's a pentagram, and it smells horrible. And like everyone I'm with is like, oh my god, it's the smell of the sacrifices. We're all freaking out, and everybody's like, low-key scared. And then we hear cars slip. Keep in mind, it's like middle of the desert, 45 minutes out of town, and abandoned water park. So immediately, everybody just hits the deck, like all of us, and it goes silent. And we're still freaking out because, you know, we just walked into this little shack, which, for whatever reasons, our dumb teenage brains is convinced was used for, like, human sacrifices. So we hit the deck, and we hear multiple car doors slamming, like, a few. So I look, and sure enough, we're at the top of the hill of the water park now. I can see where we parked over to the left, and to the right, there's, like, 4 vans. and there are tons of people out of these vans. When I say vans, it's not like a Toyota Sienna minivan. I mean those Mercedes vans that are made to take like tourist groups across the country, and there are 4 vans of people that are emptying over like on the right-hand side of the water park. So I'm kind of like, wow, that's weird. What a weird time to take a field trip, you know? And I'm focusing as my eyes and I'm seeing things. I'm thinking that like they're all wearing the same thing, but I can't confirm it because, like I said, that's lighting things is almost out of a horror movie. Is like the moon when the clouds aren't there. So sure enough, I'm kind of like, it looks like a group of people, and I realize that all of them are wearing matching robes, and I immediately just about crap my pants. So I get back out and I tell all my friends, it's the cold, it's the cold. Keep in mind, here at our school, that not only is this place haunted, but there is a cult of people that comes and does human sacrifices. And here we are in the middle of the night, and it looks like a bunch of people in robes are encroaching from vans to come up to this like water park thing. Call me crazy, definitely sounds like a psycho cult coming to make human sacrifices at the place that's known for the human sacrifices. Definitely not a good vibe to be feeling when you're sitting in a pitch black shack with a bunch of other people that are also terrified because 10 seconds ago you thought you found the sacrifice room. So obviously me and my friends are terrified because we think that this cult that's sacrificing people we look out and we're like, we have to get back to the car. And thankfully, we're parked on the other side. So we decide that we're going to try to stealth back to the car and avoid this cold. We look back out, and sure enough, they're walking through the water park. And the water park is and keep in mind, we're all like a bunch of city kids from Las Vegas that have never really effectively avoided a cult in an abandoned water park. It's just not something that we're used to, and even if it was, we're used to like having street lights and stuff. So we turn off the flashlight and we just start sprinting in the dark back to the car, and we're falling. I think I fell down like 6 times, and as we're slowly like we're working our way towards each other in this water park, we finally slow down and we're like, shut up, and we're laying behind like these half broken slides in this abandoned water park, trying our best to stay still as like this cult is moving by. And as they're walking by, it sounds like they're having pretty normal conversations, you know. It's like, oh, how's the kids, hope school is going good, how's Pete's job, you know, like that type of stuff. I'm not hearing anything about like, do you think the sacrifices know they're in the shack? But a bunch of people in the middle of the night wearing robes in an abandoned amusement park that you're pretty sure is haunted is definitely not the type of thing that makes unicorns and rainbows. And I don't care. I'm still definitely not feeling talking to people that are wearing creepy robes in the middle of the night in the middle of nowhere. I don't care if that's a good explanation. Everybody out here is stupid, myself included. Also, I'm just saying, I don't care how normal your conversation is. What type of people wear robes to an abandoned water park in the middle of the night that aren't up to no good?
Let's do another one, man. You want to laugh? You want to laugh? Let's do another one. You want to? Yes?
A little bit culty. Just
I'm
because
so
people are
surprised
in
I
a
have
cult
like
doesn't
these
mean
Go
that
on.
they can't be vibing and asking how Pete's job is going. Maybe they're pretty normal. Who knows? And,
You are how many
if you are a
FPS
cult,
you said?
just avoid robes
I'm only
altogether.
getting, like,
It does not make you
80 to
look
60
good. It
FPS.
definitely just adds like 90 points to the whole
But
creepy
this is
thing.
pretty good for me
So we're
because,
basically playing
I'm
hide and
playing
seek
on
with this
37
cult, making our
FPS
way
right now.
back to the
So,
car.
yes.
We get back to the car
That's,
and we turn on the car, and I guess we hadn't turned the headlights
Alright,
off.
come
So
here.
the headlights turn on, and it's just enough to like illuminate the water park. And all the robe people are gone, but we see them gathered around the shack.
Sorry, I was
And
just
when
putting up my
our headlights
graphics.
turn on,
Alright, now I'm
almost
at
like once,
120.
the entire cult just turns with their creepy robed heads and just looks at the car. And it was straight out of a horror movie. Just like 4 vans full of people in these dark robes turning and looking at us while the only thing lighting them is the moon and headlights. And immediately, as soon as some of them turn, a few of them start walking towards the car. And I'm like, no, go, step on the gas now, get out of here, go, go, go. And because we're terrified, we didn't even put me back in the trunk, so I'm just like laying across the back back seat of these people's legs being like, drive, get out of here, go. So sure enough, the driver like stomps on the gas. We do this weird off on the side of the road in the middle of the desert to see this abandoned water park. You can Google it if you don't believe me. Look up Google abandoned like water park in Las Vegas and you'll see what I mean. Regardless, once we got away, obviously it kind of set in how fun some of that was. Like playing hide and seek with a Colt in a lazy river is definitely not something that you get to do every day, but definitely terrifying. Robes we're doing, but like I said, it can't be good. Nobody wears robes anywhere in the middle of the night for anything good ever. Like, it just doesn't happen. Robes are just an evil piece of clothing, let's be honest here. Regardless though, me and my friends did end up telling basically everybody at school about like, you know, the fact that we low-key ran into a Colt, and nobody believed us because it sounds ridiculous, and yeah, it does. I really don't know why a bunch of people decided to meet in the middle of the night in a water park in robes. Maybe they were doing human sacrifices. I highly doubt it. They're there for a reason, you know? Maybe it just sounds crazy because nobody wants to believe there's an evil Colt kid in the water park.
I was not hiding that time.
Anyways, guys, what's going on? This is going to be the time that I saw a UFO, okay? I know this makes me sound like crazy. I'm not saying that I literally saw aliens. Like, I wasn't abducted or anything. I can't confirm that Chewbacca was flying. I did see a UFO that I have no idea what it is whatsoever, and it is a pretty weird experience, you know? When you guys are seeing this, I'm actually on vacation. I scheduled these ahead of time. It's a fun story that I felt like telling you guys. It's probably not getting a lot of views, but YOLO, we'll send it anyways. And yeah, let's do this. So I went to college in Utah, which is about like a 3-4 hour drive from where I grew up in Las Vegas. And I didn't really like Utah. I'm not going to get into like a bunch of reasons. I'll just put it this way. I like to, you know, have fun and experience life. In Utah as a state is entirely closed one day of the week. One on the weekend is impossible when one of the weekends like just doesn't work in the state. So every week after a while I was like, I'm going back down to Las Vegas and chilling. So I got very familiar with the drive in from where I was going to college. And, you know, at first I was only doing it in the day because, like, I was afraid of driving that far in the night, all that stuff. But as I got more and more comfortable as, like, college went on, I would just kind of be like, whatever, I'll just pull an all-nighter, drive, and then, like, go to class. It let me spend more time with my friends at home, you know, and I just knew the college thing wasn't going to work out. I was making more videos when I was at home, so, like, I was really just trying to make the YouTube thing work, so I used to spend more time doing that and not doing schoolwork. I was taking. So I just started, like, pulling all-nighters and driving at night. Well, one day, you know, I'm driving. I think I was driving to Vegas, actually. Regardless, you guys get the idea. I would drive at night. I think I was driving back home to Vegas late for some reason. I don't really know. But sure enough, I'm the only person on the road. There's not a ton of traffic in between Utah and Nevada, especially like in the middle of the week at night. On a Friday night, it's pretty packed because everybody's leaving Utah to go party. But like on a Wednesday, you're pretty alone. So I think I was seeing a car maybe like 1-2 minutes. But it wasn't very frequent at all. And I'm not gonna lie, I was speeding. I'm not saying this. I'm not advocating for it. How fast I was going in order for this UFO thing to be crazier. So the speed limit was 80. I think I was going 3 when I really started paying attention. And like I said, I'm speeding. Don't speed that much. That is not good. But I'm being honest. The reason that I'm being honest is because they are gaining on me fast. You know? And when I say fast, I mean like they are catching up to me, and I'm not going slow. It's not like I'm going 65 and there's a Rari going 120 flying by me, you know? I'm already going over 100 miles per hour, and this thing is coming at me at the same speed like you expect a Predator missile in Call of Duty to be flying towards the ground. This thing is moving, and as it gets closer, I'm expecting to, you know, like see a car or something, and sure enough, as it gets closer, I realize that, like, it's not even a car. I don't know what it is that but I'm not kidding you. It's like 2 lights about headlight distance apart, flying towards me at least 200 miles an hour. Catching up with me.
I am one tap. I'm trying to.
In the amount of time it possibly
see that? I
the
was
time
one
it's
that-
over my car. I don't remember it exactly, and like I was a little freaked out, so my
You know
memory
what?
of
Okay.
time might not be great, but I'm gonna say like maybe 5 seconds. So it covers 2 miles of ground like that. And as it's getting closer, I realize that like there's nothing, there's no truck, there's not a car, there's because they're super low to the ground. Like I thought they were headlights. They looked like headlights from a truck. Like yeah, they were kind of lifted off the ground, but they were 100 absolutely at headlight level.
Yeah,
Like
so-
I'm not delusional. I know when something is in the air. As it gets close to me, I realize that it's not a car, and just as quickly as it caught up on me, the lights go over the top. And I don't hear anything. I just see these lights. And I'm like, well, if this is
I
a
did what
plane
you said.
flying
I
that
did
low,
what you
first of all,
said.
there's a problem. Second of all, this thing would
Okay.
be loud, right? Like, it flew over the top of my car. So
Well,
my
yo,
first
yo,
thought
yo,
is,
yo.
I'm in the middle of nowhere, rural Utah, so maybe
so-
it was like a crop
Can you hear
duster
me?
or a plane or
Yeah, I can
something.
hear you.
You
But
can
like,
hear
I
me, right?
would've
Alright.
heard
Yeah.
something.
Go
I would've
on
heard
like
a
the
propeller, I
settings
would've
and
heard a
put
jet of
mods.
some kind. If a plane's ever flown over your house
And
before, you
like
get
go on
40,000
weapons
in the air.
and you can put mods
It's not
on
like it doesn't
for like
exist.
both teams.
So I'm freaked out at this point. All
And
I
put
know
it for
is that
red
lights
too.
just caught
And
up
then,
with me in 2 seconds when I'm going 100
put
miles
a
per
laser
hour. Flew over
on
the
it
top of my
and a
car
silencer,
made
and
no
you'll get
noise.
used to the
To make
spray a
matters
bit.
worse, obviously,
And
I'm,
then
like,
when
tracking it in my
when
rearview mirror as it goes
you
over
learn
the
a
top
bit
of me,
the
but
spray
I'm
with the
trying to, like,
silencer, you
follow
take it off,
into my rearview
and
mirror
it's
and
gonna
look
be
out
like
my windshield to
a
see
bit
if there's
tougher.
anything go
Like
over
try
the
it
top
with the
of me,
silencer.
and I kid you not,
It's
lights
easier
go
to
over the
control,
top of my car,
and then yeah.
I see nothing.
I
don't
aim at my
see
head,
no
yeah,
touch
yeah.
of light.
And
I
like
don't see
when
anything.
you're ready to
Like,
take
it's
it
like
off,
these
you take it
lights
off,
just flew
and
over the top of my
it
car
gets
and
easier.
disappeared. And I'm
I'm going to-
not crazy. Like I've got 20/20 vision, you know. I didn't see anything. I legit did not see anything fly over or past my car. I just saw these lights fly over the top of me.
Wait, he's
Going with
technically making it
absolutely no
easier
sound.
for
So
himself, 'cause
I'm scared at
the,
this
laser
point because
kinda
anytime you have something like that happen,
Or
dude,
not laser,
I
the,
immediately started thinking of
sensor.
all the stories of people who were like, aliens abducted me for 6 months and altered my memory. And I'm like, dog, I'm really not trying to get abducted. Like, seeing a UFO is crazy enough, but I'm not trying to get abducted. I really had to, dude. And I didn't pull over for the rest of the car ride. I actually ended up peeing in the McDonald's while riding. I was so terrified to stop because of the UFO. And, you know, before anyone calls me delusional, close to I've never seen a UFO before. Like, it's not like I have a billion UFO stories. And, like, I don't know what it could have been. I have no idea. All I know is that anything that was, like, man-made that I know of, I don't know what the government's got locked up. You know, I don't know if Master Chief in Halo is based on a real story and he's just, like, waking up out of cryo-freeze. I don't know what the government's got hidden. But nothing that I know can move that fast, that low, and not make any noise whatsoever. And you know, before anyone's like, you'd be surprised how quiet jets can be, I've got family members in the military who have worked on aircraft carriers and launched jets, and I told them this story, and they tell me that. So to this day, I genuinely have absolutely no idea what I saw that day. I have no idea whatsoever. The only thing that does it is the middle of the desert. You know, it's a very sparsely populated area, so if there was any place to test military technology, I wouldn't be surprised if it's there. But what definitely does not I didn't really know this until I started like researching stuff when I got home that day, but Utah actually has, for whatever reason, like a crap ton of state. They don't know why, they don't know, and this started like back in the 50s. So for whatever reason, I guess Utah's got an alien problem, and I guess I'm a part of that. I mean, I guess
See, it's a lot easier, and then when you're
Utah or Nevada, and
what gun
whatever
are
flew
you
over the
using?
top out of me scared me so bad that I
Okay.
pissed in the McDonald's. So you know it was legit.
When you're ready, take a laser and take off the silencer, and if you press F, it activates.
Now, in college, I definitely got around
Are you
a
new
little
to
bit.
the
Okay,
game?
I dated a couple people, and
Honestly,
you
I
know,
only had
sometimes
this
it would
game for, like,
transpire
maybe
into a
2
relationship
weeks.
with crazy girls, and sometimes it
yeah.
wouldn't. And one time I went on a date with this girl within the first
Oh, okay,
couple
yeah.
weeks of the
If
school
you
year.
put,
Definitely
if you
was
take off
pretty
the
right on
silence
track in
and you
terms of the
put
school year, you know?
a laser,
I just didn't feel like there was anything
it
there.
helps
I
a
didn't
lot
feel like there was any
for like
romantic connection, so I
and
told
the
her right after
pattern
the date,
of the
hey,
AK,
you know,
it's like
I
a
think that you're a
S.
fantastic girl, but you're not
Like,
my girl, you know? Like, don't get pregnant. But, I'm not feeling this. I don't
It's
feel
like
like
a
this
large
is right
S,
for me. I
the
don't feel like it's
pattern,
right
you
for
know?
you. So, yeah, best of luck. And I thought it was very obvious that we were done because I never heard from her again. Like, I
Go
hadn't
the other
heard
side.
in a long time romantically. Obviously, every now and then I would see her and we'd stop and catch up and have a normal conversation about life or like, you know, how school was going. But it was by no means ever anything romantic. I think the most romantic thing we talked about after our date was, you know, how weird Valentine's Day is and how all I want to do is have a pizza and make out. And she's like, I want to be taken on a romantic date. And I was like, so, I thought everything was squared away, and the date was just awkward. And for everybody asking why the date was awkward, it was really hot, so you asked them on a date, not knowing what they were gonna talk like, and then, they just were really boring, you know? Like, don't get me wrong, the girl was super cute, like, super cute, but, the entire date, she talked about horses. She was from, like, a small town in Utah, so she really didn't know, like, how to talk about anything else. And whenever I was trying to talk about something that I was into, or, like, figure out if we had anything in common, it would just always go back to this, like, small town in Utah, you know? And I'm trying to date a girl, not a town in Utah. So, like I said, after that date, I'm like, yay, you know, we can stop. We can be friends. Sure, we can be friends. No big deal, but we're not dating. We're not. I'm sorry, you know, if that breaks your heart, then I guess your heart has to be broken, but sometimes you gotta do what's good for the boys. Not to mention, we wanted to go out every Saturday, and Saturdays are reserved for the boys, okay? Come on, everyone knows Saturdays. Reserved for him to kiss the homies. But regardless, I'm pretty sure that I made it obvious that we were done. We hadn't been on a date in about 8 months, but one day, not even a girlfriend, not anyone that I was interested in at all. Like, literally at all. I was just sitting there talking to this girl that I have a not country accent, but you could clearly tell he was a farm. Comes up to me and he goes, "Who do you think you are? Two-timing my sister." And I'm like, huh? What? Hello? Like, are you talking to me? Like, I'm kind of looking around trying to make sure yeah, you know that you're two-timing my sister right now. Don't act like I'm not going to tell her. And I'm like, I'm not dating anybody. I think you got the wrong guy. Maybe I look like your sister's boyfriend, you know? Like, but I'm telling you, I don't have a girlfriend, so I don't know how I could be two-timing your sister, right? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. I really, really have no clue what's going on in your head that makes me think I'm two-timing your sister, but I don't have a girlfriend. And he gets up in my face and he's like, "Oh yeah, I don't know who you are, Ryan," and says my last name. He's like, "You think I don't know that you've been dating my sister for the entire year?" And my classmate, who I was pretty good friends with, looks confused, and she's like, "They're not dating." And the guy's like, "Oh yeah, is that what he told you? Probably because you're just some floozy that he uses for fun on the side while he's dating my sister. Yeah, you're lucky I don't fight you right now. You know, I'm gonna tell my sister." And I'm like, "Dog, you can tell your sister. We went on one date at the start of the year, and that was it. You know, like that was. I don't know what she told you we are, but we are definitely not anything that you're gonna fight me over because we weren't even dating." So regardless, here I am getting yelled at by some giant like farmer boy in the middle of my college while talking to this girl, right? And apparently I've been dating his sister for 9 months. I haven't talked to his sister in like 3 weeks.
Now take out the silencer, you do more damage,
everything you can
and
say
but the spray's gonna be harder.
flabbergastedly confused.
Okay.
And next thing I know, another farmer boy comes running up, but this one's a little bit older, right? He's got a balding head. It almost looks like he's got a horseshoe on his noggin because that's the pattern that his hair is growing in. And here I am confused, and he's like, "Oh, so what? You just dodge into my family while you're dating my daughter?" And I'm like, "Whose daughter am I dating, dude? I don't know what you guys are talking about." So they're all yelling at me, and next thing I know, the girl who I went on a date on at the start of the year, who I barely talked to since, walks up to me and is like, "Oh, I can see you met my family." I'm like, "Yeah, why do they think we're dating? Because we're not dating. Like, we haven't been dating." And she's like, "Well, you know, I just felt like we were a good podcast, so I didn't want to tell them that, like, we weren't dating." And I was like, "So you've told them that we've been dating for 9 months when we haven't even talked? Like, we've had maybe 2 or 3 conversations not related to dating at all." And she's like, "Well, you know, I just felt like we had something like, oh, we don't have that connection because I told you, hey, I'm not interested in you romantically. I can pull up the text. Don't make me. What do you mean? And the parents and the brother look really confused. They're like, wait, hold on. What? I'm like, I'm not dating your daughter. And they're like, well, she was telling us that, you know, you guys were talking about like getting engaged and all this stuff. And I was like, that was not the case. I don't know what this girl's plan was. I mean, let's really break this down. Oh, I'm embarrassed I'm in college and I'm not married, so I'll make up a story that this guy is dating me when he doesn't
Try
know that they're dating. And somehow
full
this is
spray
gonna
it,
work
like
out with
shoot
us
all the
being
bullets
together,
at
even though
once,
I don't talk
far
to the
away,
guy,
because
and he said he's not
to
interested.
do.
But I'll just tell my family
Oh,
that we're in a
do not
serious
put that on.
relationship.
Put like the
Not really
this
sure what the
almost
girl's
like.
plan was. So after this
That
giant
one's gonna
confusion
be
goes
a
on,
lot
I'm
harder.
still and of course, everyone
And
else
when
sitting
you
in
full
like
spray,
the quad thing of the school that was there just thinks that
just try to like keep the.
I'm sure I look like a giant douche because if you see a bunch of dudes yelling at a dude in the middle of like, you know, the quad of your college about how he's two-timing on their sister, you're probably gonna think he's. I'm just saying, I probably was, but I wasn't dating his sister. Like I still don't know where she got this idea from. So after this, the dad asked me to go to dinner with him so we could talk. And I'm like, okay, I'm not dating your daughter. Be very clear. You know that, right? And he's like, yes, I know, but you know, I just want to talk to you. I'm like, all right, fine. I'll go to dinner. We can talk about it. But I'm not dating your. Like, I need you to know very clearly, me, no date daughter. Okay, like that's not gonna happen. So I get in the car with this farmer boy in this F-150, and he's like, where do you want to go to eat? And I'm like, dog, you asked me to go eat. I don't want to be here. Like, you're picking where we're eating, okay? I hate this. You asked me to go do something and get what we do. I don't know, man. You're the one who made me get ready and want to go out. So, like, you pick. I'm not dealing with this. So we go to a restaurant, we sit down, and the dad goes, so my daughter's known to lie a little bit. And I'm like, oh, really? You know, I couldn't tell from the fact that you were going to fight me in the middle of the quad because she told you that I was going to marry her or something and we only went on one date. Like, I never knew that your daughter might have a slight exaggeration considering we were never dating. And he's like, but, you know, she does have a kind heart. And I'm like, sure, dude. I don't know your daughter like that. Sure. She has a kind heart. She made it up. I don't know why she made it up. Sure, she might have a kind heart. And he's like, I just really want you to consider taking her on another date. And I'm like, bro, listen to what you're asking. You just came down to meet me because you felt like I was avoiding you because she lied to you for months and months and months on end. And you think that that's a good impression on me to go, well, she's kind of hot, so I might as well give her a second go. Like, call me crazy here. The second a girl makes up a giant relationship to, you know, ooh, I don't know, convince everybody that we're dating for a long period of time or not, it kind of kills any attraction that I have to her. Like, any attraction I might have possibly had to possibly make me want to date your daughter is definitely out the window when she starts making stuff up like this. But he's like, you know, she's a sweet girl. She'd make a great wife. I'm like, dog, I'm 18. Sure, maybe down the line. I'm not interested in something that makes me. I'm 18. What do you want me to commit to, bro? I can't even commit to which college I want to go to for the next 6 months. You expect me to make a lifetime decision? So he gets a little frustrated with me. He's like, oh, so what? You just let her on? And I'm like, we were never. I think her dad was having a really hard time wrapping the fact that me and his daughter were never dating. It's in the middle of this restaurant. He's like accusing me of leading her on, all this crazy stuff. And so finally, I'm like, all right, dude. Well, your daughter.
See, it's a lot better when you full screen, you know.
So I'm leaving now, but it's been an honor. Thank you for dinner. And I get up and I walked back to college, which took me like an hour. But when you're on a date with a crazy girl's dad, I'm calling it a date. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to survive. If that means walking home, that's what you gotta deal with. At least I was. You know, I had 3 or 4 friends in every class. And really talking outside of class. Like, I knew everybody pretty well. And there was this girl that I knew that was on the volleyball team. I'm not gonna lie, she was pretty slim thick, you know, she had it going on. And one of my friends, who was also in that class, started to have a crush on her. And since we were like low in that class, he asked me if I could help wingman him since we were always together. And you know, being the good bro that I am, I was like, of course I will. No problem. Absolutely anything to help the boys. And that's how it should be, you know? You should be willing to do just about anything to help the boys. So like I said, I was with your friends and I start wingman. I would do the worksheets and say I got the answer from him just to make it smarter. I was really out there being the best
by me. I was on that free trial membership, all right? Like Hulu Plus with no ads for the first month. That's getting in friendship. So whatever, I'm wingmanning, and obviously I'm pretty good at wingmanning. Not to toot my own horn, but yeah, you know, I kind of am good at it. But regardless, it starts to get, you know, a little awkward in class, but they start to date and talk. Kind of involved in getting them to start talking at time. They start like asking me to hang out and stuff, and no harm, no foul. Sure, I'll hang out with them. We don't really have a ton in common. This dude, the way I would describe him is like he was a good friend. He was super athletic, always wearing all the latest Nike gear, you know, going on runs for fun, and like that wasn't really my crowd in high school. It's still not my crowd. Side by side, but they asked me to go with them. And I'm like, yeah, sure. No problem, you know, and I didn't really know these people super well. Basically, I knew them well enough to do group projects together, and they knew me well enough to, you know, text me every now and then, but we weren't really friends, so I didn't know what to expect when, like, hanging out with them. And, you know, hanging out with them kind of made me realize that I might have set this dude up with a low-key psychopath, because she was pretty abnormal. So what was used to be, you know, pretty nice in science class, maybe a little bit controlling, comes out as super controlling, because I'm hanging out with them at the mall, and she is low-key, like, getting pissed anytime he looks in another direction. He talked to a girl while ordering lunch, and she was like, I don't know who you think you are to talk to other girls in front of me, but I will not be disrespected like this in my relationship. And the kid, you know, who had this massive crush on her is like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I'll let you order if it's a girl from now on. Like, you know, he's totally buying into it. And I'm kind of sitting here looking at it like, oh, this girl low-key might not be. But I chalk it up to her having a bad day, being in a bad mood. I had never seen that much of her in science class, so whatever. I just forget it, and like I'm like, wow, that's a little bit bizarre that she got pressed that her boyfriend ordered food from someone of the opposite gender. Like, if your boyfriend is willing to leave you after he orders McDonald's from a chick, there's the fact that you're jealous, all right? Like, why would you want to be with somebody that's trying to replace you in the drive-thru window, you know? Like, that's just really not a good sign for the future of a relationship. Yeah, you know, me and Eric are just taking some time off. He fell in love with the Wendy's girl. No, not the redhead in the commercials, the girl that takes quite devastating. Whatever, though. I end up sending him a meme a little bit Twitter DMs that basically is something along the lines of when your girlfriend won't let you talk to anyone of the opposite gender, and it was like just a silly picture, you know. And I mean, if you and your friends don't give each other like a little bit of crap, then you're not really friends, at least in my opinion. Like, I don't know about you, me and my friends bond through talking trash. It's one of our favorite things to do to each other is, you know, give each other a hard time. So it's basically a joke. It's not really saying that your girlfriend sucks. And I have a class with her and not him in the next hour, and I walk in and she's just like giving me this pissed off look, and I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? And she goes, oh, you think making fun of me is funny? And I'm like, oh, what do you mean? This girl had already also gotten access to this stupid Twitter account and was reading all the messages that I was sending. So I sent the meme about when your girlfriend is crazy, and she instantly had logged into his account and read it and is like, why are you talking crap about me to my boyfriend? You know, just low-key a little obsessive. He can't talk to other girls. He can't order food from other girls. He can't have private Twitter DMs. No secrets allowed in a relationship. And I'm gonna keep it a buck with you guys. Anybody out there that's dating, you want some secrets, okay? I really don't need to know, like, my girlfriend's bowel movement schedule. I do not need to know when my girlfriend is dropping dukes, all right? Because it doesn't gross me out. It's just like, you don't want to know when I'm taking a shit either, all right? We can all agree that in a relationship, sometimes it's okay to have secrets on both sides, you know? Girls don't need to know everything I'm doing. I don't need to know everything they're doing. We're squared away. Every now and then, if the secret affects the other further, that changes. That's enough relationship advice, low-key. I'm not giving any girl I'm dating my, like, Twitter login. You don't need to be reading my stupid DMs with Ben of us sending stupid TikToks back and forth. So whatever, I kind of realized that maybe getting them to date is I realized that I might too late. I said realize a lot there. I realized that it doesn't even sound like realize is a real live word. Anyways, I get to science class and they're both giving me the cold shoulder. Keep in mind we sit at a table together and they're both just ignoring me, you know? And I'm like, okay, come on, guys. Like, I get it. The girl makes the guy pull out like a pad of paper and write down like, I won't be talking to you. I only talk to people that respect my girlfriend. And tell me to look on his face that he really doesn't want to do this. And I'm like, all right, man. You know, I get it. You gotta side with the lady. No harm, no foul. We weren't super close anyway. I'm like, all right, I'm sorry. Please come explain the situation to the teacher so I can get out of the group, you know? And, like, they whisper in each other's ears all sassily, and he writes down, no, we're just gonna tell him that you didn't do anything. So, now for like, Ray's gonna suffer because this girl can't handle the fact that I sent a meme about her low-key being psycho-possessive to her boyfriend. And, you know, every girl's a little psycho-possessive. It's a little weird. He's got some problems. I can send a meme about you to your boyfriend and he shouldn't dump you. If your boyfriend's gonna dump you because I sent him a meme, you're probably not a good girlfriend. So whatever, I get kicked out of my science with this guy, and I go to the science teacher, and luckily he liked me. I can't talk today, and he decides to give me a new group. So I get my new science group, and it's whatever, no big deal. But one thing that I noticed from the side is after I stop hanging out with them, she basically changes this dude's entire personality. Like I said, like athletic, talking about working out and all this stuff, and she like basically changed his personality into this, you know, skater dude. He quit all the varsity sports he was on. Like, she low-key took over his life. He wasn't allowed to talk to any of his friends. He wasn't allowed to talk to any girls at all in like any scenario, basically at all, or his girlfriend would kill him. And she basically just like dude that I used to know. I obviously had hung out with him a couple times. You know, he was a pretty cool dude. Like, we weren't besties by any means, but when you see somebody that's pretty chill that you've hung out with a lot, get brainwashed by what appears to be a psychopathic girl, you want to say something. So one day I'm on Xbox, and me and him used to play COD a lot. I invite him to the party, and I'm like, bro, what is going on with you, man? Like, the past 2 months, you know, quit your favorite sports teams, like, never talk to anybody anymore. I haven't seen you on Xbox, and we used to play pretty consistently. I'm like, what's up? And, you know, he starts telling me about how she won't let him do anything he likes, and his parents want him to break up with her. Because she always says that, you know, if he breaks up with her, like, she's gonna lose it, and he's the rock holding her world together. And I'm like, IG, you're level 15. If she's making you do things you don't want to do and your family hates it, there's probably a reason. If all your friends and your family hate the person you're dating, it's probably because they're just not the right person for you, alright? Maybe they're not evil, maybe they're not the worst person to ever exist, but your friends and family low-key kind of know what's up. That's all I'm like, look, man, if you're not happy, then, like, there's no as somebody that's dated my fair share of chicks, I was like, yeah, dude, no problem, I get it. Everybody thinks the wrong head sometimes. That's just the reality of the situation. So he breaks up with her. I don't know if my talk was really the catalyst, but like a couple days later, he breaks up with her, and she comes to school a sobbing mess. Every class, she's breaking down, crying for attention. You know, teachers are having to stop the class, and obviously she's like screaming at him at lunch, just overall causing some self-embarrassment. But what she did next is still low-key one of the most psychotic things that I've ever seen. I am gonna save that for part 2. Anyways, after a bunch of unsuccessful attempts this girl made at trying to get her ex back, including spam calling him, you know, going psychotic, low-key, nothing seemed to be working. The only thing that she sought necessary. I guess after spam calling him all that stuff for a week wasn't enough. And, you know, even though we were in high school, her and this dude were low-key active in certain activities that can produce offspring, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. And I think everybody's heard at least one horror story from their friend where a girl will like take a pregnancy test and be like, oh my god, it's yours, you have to stay with me. Usually that only prolongs the relationship by like another week, because most people realize that, you know, this girl is faking a pregnancy to try to get him to stay and there's no actual baby. And I guess this girl had thought that through. The good old fake pregnancy test wasn't gonna be enough. No, sir. What this girl decides to do to try to get my friend back in a relationship with her is she goes and does something with somebody else and you heard me correctly. This girl went, my boyfriend better broke up, or my boyfriend just broke up with me. Somebody else's kid to try to make him stay. Yes, that's right. I'm not kidding when I said that this girl is low-key the most psychotic ex of all time. And at the time this is all going down, though, we don't know this. So miraculously, this girl somehow manages to get get pregnant with another dude and doesn't tell anyone about the other dude. She doesn't even tell the other dude about the fact that, you know, she purposely tried to have a baby. So she gets pregnant and finds out, gets a real pregnancy test, comes to my friend like 2 months after they broke up. At this point, you know, he already has a new girlfriend, his wife's getting together, he's happy again, he's playing sports, and she drops the bomb on him and goes, look, I'm 2 months pregnant, and you know what was going on 2 months ago, so you might want to rethink this whole breakup thing. And he's like, oh my god, his life is destroyed. You know, he comes from a super conservative family. They're pissed. You know, he's realizing that he's gonna have to quit sport to become a dad. The girl he's dating, find out they're pregnant, like, or not pregnant, because guys can't get pregnant. You get what I'm saying, all right? Like, if I was dating a girl and I found out she was pregnant with another dude's baby, like, that low-key puts a damper on things a little bit, all right? Things get a little complicated. And this guy's life is in ruins, man. I talked to him once, like, after he thought he's gonna be a dad, and, you know, he's trying to fake a smile and be like, no, we'll figure it out. But he kind of realized at this point the girl's psychotic. And out of all the girls you could have a kid with at high school, the psychotic girl is not the best bet.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna take your pick, just overall don't have a kid in high school. Like, that doesn't need to be explained to most of you, but just in case you got questionable moral guides, don't have a kid in high school. It usually doesn't end well. I mean, if you can send it, don't send it. Don't.
No?
Just don't do it. Let's avoid babies in high school for the most part. But if you're gonna have a girl, like a girl pregnant with your kid in high school, the least girl that you want to pick is the psychotic one. The one that's like willing to key her name into the side of your car because like that type of crazy is the crazy you want to avoid having kids. You want to avoid having kids with any type of woman that is willing to just destroy your car in a fit of rage. And he's trying to act happy, you know, how excited he is to be a dad, but I can just tell he's capping. My mom, his mom, and like low-key is also getting the scoop, and his mom is like crying to the other mom. Her life is ruined and how she's failed as a mother. Like, it's really not good. This man is struggling. But for 9 months, this guy is a great boyfriend. You know, he's taking care of this girl that he thinks is carrying his baby, and he took her to all the school dances. Like, this is a dope dude in the grand scheme of things, all right? Even though he knows he's like, well, it's the mother of my child, so I guess I'll be the bigger man and just take care of her, at least until my kid comes out. Then, you know, we can deal with the whole psychotic mother thing, but you know, for now, I'm just gonna be nice to the girl who's pregnant with my kid. He's a super nice boyfriend. We didn't really talk a lot about it because obviously it wasn't something that he wanted to talk about. You know, it is really putting his differences behind him and taking care of this girl. You know, come out of the mom. That's a weird way to say give birth, but whatever. We're all vibing. So this dude brings his whole family to the hospital. Her whole family's there, you know. They're well, look, if we're gonna meet our grandkid, then let's meet it. And like I've said, this dude is a white dude, all right? Like, you know, his family low-key probably could star in ads for, like, you know, political campaigns where it's like, your people across America. And it's just like this kid, you know, smiling with a Letterman. And she's a super white girl, and the baby comes out Hispanic. This girl was so stupid that she got pregnant with another dude's baby and didn't even pick the right race, bro. If you're gonna ruin your life, all right? If you're gonna get pregnant in high school to try to keep your high school boyfriend with you, you're already pretty dumb. You're gonna try to get the race of the dude who gets you pregnant correct. It's pretty obvious what's going on, you know? Like, no one's gonna be that stupid. So she immediately starts trying to explain that he probably has like some Cuban in him, and she starts crying and she's like, fine, it's not your kid, but like having you come to be in love with me over these last few months. Keep in mind, this baby just got delivered. This poor baby's first words that it's like hearing a couple hours after being born, all right? He was nice. He didn't start yelling at her right after she gave birth, but you know, he definitely told her a little bit later. So like a couple hours this baby's being born, his mom is she low-key got pregnant to try to keep her boyfriend with her, and just is not the sharpest tool in the shed and didn't do the math. Like, how did you not realize that you got pregnant with Manny's baby and your baby's richer, all right? Like, it's just
the math does not add up. I really don't understand what this girl was thinking at all. Loki, my friend, is a little bit hyped, you know, after patiently leaving the hospital. His mom was crying happy tears, and like, Loki was super hyped. He's super hyped that he doesn't have to be a dad anymore, because that puts a little bit of a... And, you know, Loki kind of actually got to have a good experience because all this happened before we were separated. So he still had a year to pull it together. He dated a crazy chick. Sure, she got pregnant with another dude's kid to try to keep him around, but at the end of the day, he escaped and he got crazy. I'm still on what you guys are thinking right now. What else happened, alright? It can't just end there. Now there's a baby just floating around that low-key was being used to keep a relationship going. So what ends up happening to this friend escapes a life of being tied down by somebody that's psychotic, thankfully, you know. He goes fantastic, 10 out of 10. Good job. But the girl, you know, is a little bit more of a train wreck. So after this next year of her raising, imagine being the kid's actual dad. Like for 9 months, you haven't heard from this girl at all since one night at a party. She hits you up and goes, "Oh, by the way, I was pretending that you were my other boyfriend's kid, but he low-key found out about it because I'm a moron. And you're a dad. Congrats. We'll come by and meet Daddy on Monday." That low-key is gonna suck. But tried to make it work with the dad and the kid. Didn't end up working out, but you know, he ended up loving the kid a lot. The mom ended up coming out. I'm pretty sure it's in South Africa performing with a circus now. So yeah, definitely a little bit mentally unstable. But from what I've heard from my friend who, you know, she tried to convince was a dad, the kid is actually living with his dad, loves him a lot. His grandma and grandpa take care of him. Ended up working out for the kid, which I mean is a good thing, because I feel like we can all agree if your mom is that stupid to come up with this plan and not execute it, then you probably shouldn't be raised by her. That's a serial killer waiting to happen. So that in 2 parts is the crazy ex-girlfriend of all time. Like I said, I probably could have done one massive video, but I had some stuff I want to throw in, you know. Moral of the story is if you're gonna date someone, you really can't always get a DNA test done on your kids, I guess, would be the best moral you could take away from this story. I'm not really sure. Like, I'm not sure if you guys are going to be vibing with that, you know, if the comment section's going to be people being thanks to Scrubby. So today we're going to be talking about my psycho ex-girlfriend. I actually have a lot of these. I don't know what it is with me, but I'm just attracted to crazy women. Not once have I ever been chilling, billing, doing what I gotta do, and not been dating an absolute psychopath. Maybe it speaks more to my terrible life choices, but regardless, you guys are really enjoyed whenever I date crazy girls, so it's not like I have a reason to stop. Meaning that if I am flirting with you, just assume that I think you're actually insane, because it's the stories that I really enjoy, you know? But regardless, this is actually my most recent ex. I'm not gonna say when we broke up, because they know about my channel and they watch my videos, and the last thing I need is people, you know, coming after me, all right? They're gonna come after me. I'm gonna get murdered live on television. Regardless, this ex-girlfriend of mine, she's a pretty cool person, you know, if you subtract the fact that she was into some weird stuff. She was really into K-pop. And when I mean really into K-pop, I mean she would make fan accounts and tweet at them constantly and talk about how badly she wanted their ramen noodles in her mouth, except it wasn't wrong with that she wanted to choke on an Asian man's noodle, especially when she was dating me. But regardless, you know, for some reason this didn't raise red flags. I'm not the smartest, all right? When things are coming in where I'm supposed to be like, oh, this is a bad idea, I'm like, no, power on. You only live once. Make bad decisions. Do terrible things. So yeah, my girlfriend was absolutely upset. You know, everything was okay, I guess. The relationship was relatively normal, nothing too wild, until she found out that the K-pop group was gonna be in Albuquerque, New Mexico, right? Which is, by 16, I mean a lot more than that. I meant like 16 hours. It's a big difference. But regardless, she's like, oh my god, we need to go see them. And I'm like, you know what? You have fun. K-pop isn't really my thing. No offense, but you know, I'm not really sitting here going, yo, what up? Please, can we go see the BTS group? Please. And I have nothing against K-pop. Like, I don't think it's even a bad thing. I I just think it's just not my thing, you know? You guys know what I mean? It's like when certain people are like, oh, I really love to watch, I don't know, Jake Paul. Like, I don't dislike Jake Paul. Watch Jake Paul if you want, I guess. I don't really care. But a 16-hour road trip to go see a K-pop group? No, no, no. I'm really fine. Don't take it personally, but it's just not my thing. Driving 16 hours for anything isn't my thing. I wouldn't drive 16 hours to see my favorite band, let alone a band that I don't really care about that much, right? But anyways, the days are getting closer to the concert, and the day of, or the day before, I should say, I get a call from her mom, and she says, hey, Ryan, have you seen, and says the girl's name,
Yo,
because
before you start the
my
match,
car's gone, and
come
she's
here.
not here. And I'm like, no, I'm at home, I haven't
At
talked
the
to her,
end,
but
the
I
other
bet
side,
you
don't
that she's
start.
going to this BTS
And just
concert.
practice shooting
And
at
mom's
me
like,
from
well, I
that
didn't
range.
let her take the car. Like, she stole my car to go, which should have been the red flag. That should have been the red alarms going off. You shouldn't date this girl. Anyone willing to steal their mom's car to go watch a K-pop group? Probably not worth the commitment. But she went missing, didn't tell her parents where she was going, stole her parents' car to drive 16 hours to New Mexico to see this group, right? And, you know, I was like, that's kind of bizarre. Maybe a little bit weird. So her mom's like, I mean, it's kind of shitty, but whatever. She has the car. There's not much I can do. I don't want to report it stolen and get her arrested. So she's texting me, sending me Snapchats. She's so excited to and then she says, OMG, guess what? I found out what hotel they're staying at. And I'm like, that's weird. This is where we're drawing the line. You don't go find where famous people are staying and then go to the hotel. And she's like, I'm gonna go find them. It's destiny. I'm supposed to be with these boys. And I'm like, you're telling your boyfriend that it's destiny to go find the hotel of famous people and then be in love with them. Do you not understand how that's weird? And she's like, no, 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 no. But like, if it doesn't work, then I want you. And it's at this point I realized that I need to break up with this girl. The only problem is, how do you break up with the girl willing to stalk famous people and go to their hotel room? What do you do? Hey, sorry, it's just not working out. She's like, oh, don't worry, I'm just gonna follow you forever and kill your next wife. No, no, not next wife, your wife. What? I wasn't married, I promise, guys, I swear. So I keep getting updates, and she's outside of this hotel and is like frantically searching, trying to figure out where these guys are staying, trying to find their hotel room, which is getting progressively crazier, right? And it's at this point where I realize that I have to do something, because I don't know what she's gonna do if she finds out where these K-pop guys are. So I ask her what the hotel is, and I call them and basically say, hey, you guys are staying here, or like this group is staying here. My I said ex-girlfriend, thank God, is outside and she's being crazy. I don't know what you want to do. Like, I don't want her to get arrested because she hasn't done anything wrong, but you know, it's kind of a super awkward situation for me, right? So whatever, they end up making her leave the premise. They find her, I don't know how, and she's pissed at me. She claims that I ruined her chance at a future and that I've destroyed any chance of her ever falling in love with these K-pop guys. I'm like, they speak Korean. What are you gonna do? Talk about what do you talk about? I don't know what, I was panicking, guys. It was really terrifying. It was the absolute worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. So she gets back from this experience and of course is furious with me. And I text her mom and basically tell her what happened, and her mom's like, no, 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 you did the right thing, I promise. But she wants to talk to me. She wants to have a conversation about this. And I'm like, you know what? Fine, I guess I owe you a conversation. We did date for a little bit. Actually, we hadn't even broken up yet. This is where it gets interesting. So we're having a conversation. She basically says that I have to support her, and now she has to go to another one of their shows on tour to try to meet them, and I have to come with her because I need to be a supportive boyfriend. And I'm like, yeah, about that, lady, I'm not feeling the whole boyfriend thing anymore, all right? I was cool with you running the fan account and tweeting at them and whatever, but I'm definitely not cool with, you know, stalking these guys across the country while they're on tour and trying to get my girlfriend to fall in love with another dude. That's where I draw the line, you know? I think it's really not cool. It's really not chill. It's just not something I'm down to be a part of, right? And she takes that the wrong way. She starts screaming about how I'm a terrible guy.
Yo,
I'm
what's
a
up,
douchebag,
everybody?
and she's
It's
gonna tell everyone how terrible I am, and I'm like, you know, most people know you're crazy, especially since, you know, I kind of went around telling people about this. How could I not? For everybody like, oh, you talk shit about your girlfriend? She was definitely, I was breaking up with her regardless, and she went to another state to stalk famous people and thought it was going to turn out well, all right? I have the right to talk about it with people. Dude. But regardless, I draw the line, you know? I think it's really not cool, it's really not chill, it's just not something, you know? And everybody's staring at me, and everybody automatically assumes that I did something wrong, because when you're seeing a girl yell at a guy in a restaurant about how he's a bad boyfriend, you automatically assume I'm guilty. So the manager comes over and asks me to leave, and I'm like, you know what, fine, I'm out. I usually love this Cafe Rio, but whatever, I'll just Postmates it next time, all right? So I go home and I'm like, oh my god, this was the worst experience of my entire life. And I'm still getting angry texts from her about how I'm a terrible boyfriend and I'm not a good guy and how I'm just genuinely the worst person to ever exist in the history of ever. And I'm like, you know what, fine, okay, alright, that's cool. And she ended up selling all of her material possessions and buying a car and literally following them around on tour. And shocker, surprise, turn of the century, no rich multimillionaire superstars fell in love with some random girl that was obsessed with them. I know it's crazy, you're probably thinking, wow, that's not the love story ending I was expecting. Wow, wild, isn't it, that no one fell in love with her because they're the most random, crazy people ever. And as soon as she was back, she started hitting me up saying that she was so sorry for ever leaving me and how I was right. And I was like, no, 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 no. You don't get to go crazy, scream at me in the middle of a Mexican restaurant, and then go on a random tour across the world chasing Korean pop stars, and then because they don't fall in love with you, get to come crawling back, all right? That's not who I am. That's not who I want to be. Once you're done with
What's up, guys? My name's Thomas. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to consistently alt-tab out of Rust. So there is that. Just like, you know, quickly clicking alt and then clicking tab will generally crash your game. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. So it's better to just turn that function on. So I'm going to go ahead. Here's the thing, right? I haven't been able to get the game.
Alright, well, if we can figure out how to tab back in.
I'll work on stretched reses.
Alright, because I know it. Oh, come on. Okay, well, at least I wasn't into a server or anything, so I can just leave it.
Today we're going to be going over the top Rust servers, and I don't want to waste any time, so let's just get straight into it. Alright, so this first server, it's called Perfect Aim Train. Now, there's a bunch of different servers like this, or really any sandbox server. There's Rusty servers, it can be any of the servers, I just chose this one. Alright, for this next one, I chose rustified.com, but honestly, any vanilla server will work because all vanilla servers are pretty much the same. It's just finding one that has good ping and population for you. So obviously, if you don't live in the US, you wouldn't join a US server. So I recommend you go find a server that fits you. So if you're solo or if you're playing with multiple different people, that can also determine what server you want to play on. Alright, so not a lot of people know this, but I actually made this exact video a year ago and a year before that, but to be honest, those videos are really bad. So I recommend you guys go check the comments of this video. If you guys didn't like any of the servers or want to try and find a new one, a lot of people comment their own servers and servers that they like, so I recommend you go check out the comments. So that about wraps up this video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time.
I didn't
literally just built this base. Come on.
Bro. Oh, I'm gonna drop him in. I'm gonna drop him in. Right here. Right here. I'm gonna drop him in. This square. This square. Oh. Oh my god. Yo, seal it. Seal it. Seal it.
AJ,
no.
No. You can't do that. That's not allowed. I'm clipping that. That's not.
Towards us. Blake, they're coming right at us.
Do I rocket them?
Bet. If they get close, rocket them.
Hey, we're here to confiscate your helicopter.
I rocket them.
I rocket them as well. One dead. Bro, what?
I killed him! I killed him!
I wonder if this guy has
Scared the shit out of him, dude.
Because I can check that real quick.
I fucking got it!
Oh, there's two guys there! Literally just...
We're gonna be watching some of your insane Rust clips sent to my Discord, like stuff like this. Alright guys, let's just get straight into it. We're going to start with the first clip here from Oshocker. As you guys know, if you want to send in clips, all you got to do is join the Discord. It'll be one of the first links in the description.
Meu Deus, desceu o metrô. Em dois no metrô, tinha um
And if you enjoy this, please leave a like on the video and subscribe if you're new. I'd appreciate that a lot, my friends.
Já cá, matei um.
Wow, and this
Tem mais
guy
dois.
actually talks inside of his chat.
Looks like he gets two of them. Oh, he gets a
Matei o
third.
outro. Tá, porra, 4 caras mortos. Ave Maria!
That's crazy. Alright, let's go to the next one. This one's from Mezzy. Not too sure what happened there. Quick little clip, but we'll see it. Alright. This one's from... Oops. This one's from... Ooh, I can't pronounce that.
Somebody react to
Owen.
some of these clips.
Finds a crossbow. Is this the best quality it
Alright, well, we're gonna go back to Rust. We're gonna go on the server. Go to my server. Go to my server, actually. Yep, Epic Esports. You know, I'm gonna copy, and I'm gonna go to YouTube. Back to Rust. We're gonna go on the server. Go to my server. Go to my server, actually. Yep, Epic Esports. You know, I'm gonna copy, and I'm gonna go. My boom. Shazam. There you go.
goes. I think it is. Yeah, that's the quickest start to Rust you can get. Easy revolver.
Yeah, this channel is cool. Oh. Well, what's gonna happen, man? Is Michael Jackson gonna come up to you?
Bruh.
Wow. Let's see. Boom. Boom. No, let's go back to what we were
Doing the
doing.
hand sanitizer.
Okay.
Or knocking it over.
Gotcha.
And if you can't do it, then I get the $5.
Okay, but I can't do it because that's glued to the $5 bill.
No, it's not.
So this.
Oh, yo, honestly, if you get 720 no-scoped that hard by your dad, you just gotta let him keep the $5, right? He's been around the block a couple times. You can't trick him, man. All things considered, that was brilliant, dude. It's glued to the bottle. No, it's not. Look. Oh, thanks, Shawty. You think you'd have that a little bit more thought out if you're trying to trick your dad into giving you some money, you know? Next time, have a better approach.
And I got eyes like an eagle, stacking so much money you would think that it's illegal.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrubby here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am. And today we're going to be taking a look at the subreddit r/watchpeopledie inside, because I just figured it would make good content. And yeah, you know, why not take a shot at it? It's not like this channel can get more dead. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into it. Oh. Yo, I love that he's crying because someone didn't let him ruin his brother's birthday cake. You know, that really is just some sibling level stuff where you're just sitting there like, haha, here I am. Time to ruin everything my brother's been hoping to wish for the last year.
Father, why have you betrayed me? Soon I will show you that you have made a mistake. When you are old and need a nursing home, I will elect to put you in one with 1-star Yelp reviews.
Oh man, he's going for it. Oh, he's going for it. Let's go. Come on. Oh, let's go. I want him to get it.
He got it.
Oh.
And he got it at
Oh.
No.
Oh. He's thinking about it, bro. He's like, is it still worth the risk? I'll be honest. He's calculating. He's like, how much trouble would I get in if I still just took off and ran with it?
What are you doing? So now I can't even put stuff up there? I'm looking right at you.
He really is about to try to dip out with it, dude. He said, listen, if I move really, really slowly, maybe she won't know I'm there. You're a golden retriever, pal. It's not like your owner's a dinosaur. She's not a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Her sight isn't based on movement. It's very evident that you just took something off the counter. I gotta give the dog kudos, though. It's got huevos the size of planet Jupiter.
That just defeats the whole purpose. You're eating and drinking through the mask.
Well, that kind of defeats the purpose of the whole thing, doesn't it, man? Not to mention, maybe it's just because I'm an insanely messy eater with, like, the dexterity skills of a 5-year-old that's distracted with an iPad, but I would get my mask covered in so much food if I was trying to eat through it like this. Yo, Loki, why does this look like something out of that 90s movie, The Mummy, man? That whole, like, her putting the straw in her mouth. I don't know why that gave me such a weird vibe, but any second Brendan Fraser was about to pop out and save the planet like it's the 90s again. When you realize the dogs are fighting over a stuffed animal that looks just like you.
Uh-oh. Wait, I didn't get to see the stuffed animal. Oh, that's... yeah, that's a... That's a...
Yo, you can see the fear in his eyes, dude. I don't even know how I would feel if I walked into a couple of my roommates just tearing up a life-size rendition of me. Like, oh, I can't wait to rip him limb from limb, but I definitely would be uncomfortable. Especially because we all know in this situation what a cat is gonna do against 2 dogs, which is not a whole lot. You know, if they really feel like eating Garfield over here, he ain't got too much defense. All that lasagna is gonna backfire on you, pal.
Oh. No.
Oh, people making TikTok in the car is always so embarrassing, dude. Come on, you gotta have a little bit of self-awareness to look around and make sure that no one's filming you making TikToks in your car, dude. The dog looks more fed up with it than any of us do, to be fair. He's like, this is rendition 87. Oh! Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. Could you imagine the embarrassment of this situation? You're like, oh, there we go. That was the take. That's the one that's going to turn me into a TikTok sensation. Only to look over and see someone filming you and knowing instantly that they're going to go way more viral than that TikTok ever would. Pain. Pure pain. All right, looks like we got him here carrying some beers. Oh, wibble wobble, one goes down and there they go. Oh, honestly, I'm shocked he didn't throw the tray. If you ask me, that's what I would have included. You know, maybe that's some old school gamer rage, a good monitor toss, a good keyboard smack never hurt nobody. I'm just saying, you already broke 5 glasses. What's tossing a tray thrown into the mix? The disappointment was there, though. I felt that went through the screen. On the bright side, at least he kept his job long enough to get the security footage and post it on the internet for some virtual points. I heard people grab whatever you give them when they're on the phone. All right, nope. Not really. I mean, he did take it, but he definitely questioned it. Oh. All right. All right. Okay. Oh, dead flowers. This is the one that I personally would enjoy the most. You know, just showing appreciation. All right, I guess that's a cool fact. You just got to do it with something a little bit funnier next time. Like, you know, a firecracker that's lit and just hand it to him and be like, there you go, pal. Don't actually do that, by the way. That's the opposite of good advice, okay? Don't do that. I was just thinking about somebody watching this with no context and being like, great idea. All right, it's not a great idea. Don't listen to me.
It will work. I like where her head's at.
All in.
Whoa!
What's that?
Oh, man.
She just said all in, sir. Did she? All in, that's what I heard.
All right. Only Kevin Hart would be able to, like, misread a hand and then win due to him misreading a hand.
Close to 20.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how any other people would have that much luck.
Full house.
So you full house?
No, I got it straight. I got the nut
You got it straight?
Yeah.
No.
So I don't have to show my cards?
If you have...
I've,
Kevin, you're so stupid.
Oh, not again.
Oh, except he's not, dude. Oh, like, imagine being the professional poker player in this situation that gets beaten by a Hollywood comedian that just makes a bunch of money by being funny because he just misread the situation. Meanwhile, you're over here, like, studying the card game, dude. You're having a Jimmy Neutron brain flash every time that someone puts a card down and he just beats you on luck.
what happened now?
King high. It's king high.
Yeah, you win. I would like to bluff you, but it didn't work. So I lost all my money.
King
right
high
now.
wins?
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Oh, man, bro. The look at her face, dude. She's like, I tried to bluff you, but it didn't work. You can't bluff someone that doesn't know what's going on. That's the problem here. I'm sure the bluff would work if the person you're bluffing against had, like, any idea what's happening. But if you don't know how to play the game enough, where you look at your cards and don't know what's going on, you're not gonna know if somebody's bluffing you, you know? I know nothing about poker, really. If you put me in that situation, I'd be, like, really hard to bluff, too, because I wouldn't even know what it means. Like, oh, okay, you bluffed me, I guess. That's all right.
I know you. I found it in your area.
Oh,
I found
no.
it in your box. Your box of
Oh. Oh, no. This is moments before disaster, dude. Mom is about to not be happy with this. I'm not saying there's anything.
Oh no. It stopped. How could it?
Wrong with it. I enjoy a good soundtrack. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up with the ukulele broken. Oh, dang, it actually took the wind right out of her sails, dude. I guess that's what a normal reaction should be, man. My mom would have made sure that that ukulele was no longer providing a soundtrack in any enjoyable way. Not in a bad manner, I love my mom, you know. It's just I was very surprised to see the mom back down and go, oh, I'm not gonna continue due to the ukulele music.
No.
Oh.
I wanna get off, bro. I wanna get off. 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 I wanna get off.
This is so scary.
Bro, I wanna get off, man.
Oh, no.
I wanna get off. I ain't even scared.
Oh no, this stuff freaks me out. I don't even blame him, bro. I really be screaming when this goes on.
Oh my fucking god.
Oh,
You finna go first.
here we go.
Don't tell us for real.
Here we go.
No fucking not. Oh my god, you finna go.
Oh,
Just go already.
Try to tighten your seatbelt. Huh?
Who, him?
Ooh. Way too loose, man. Just slip out.
oh no!
Bro, you were. Oh my god.
I would crap myself.
Bro,
It's like a car seatbelt. Like you pull it, it'll
This?
wait, is my too loose?
Actually, both of them.
Oh,
Both
yes.
seatbelts completely moved.
Yeah. Oh, thank goodness that they had the camera on here, bro. Oh my goodness. Yo, I loved that. Every second of that was pure content, dude. Thank goodness for this camera here. They were probably doing this all night, man. Yeah, not so tough when you think your seatbelt is broken, is it? I'm terrified of rides like this, so if I was ever on this and someone started being like, shut up, I'd be like, listen, man, I'm about to pee. If you want me to be peeing on you, then keep talking. Cats can always spot the not cat person. Oh, that looks like pain. I don't fear cats this much, but if you're horrified of something and it's just vibing on your lap, that is definitely not an enjoyable situation. She looks the way most people look when, like, you realize that you just touched something in the bottom of the pool and you're not sure what it is. Just like that pure feeling, you know, when you're in the ocean and a piece of seaweed gets up against your leg and you're just like, no thank you.
Number 15.
All right, sipping some wine. Okay, and jumping into the water. Here we go. Over rotation, and that was painful, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, that was deceptively high. I'm not even gonna cap. If we pull back to like here, all right, here, it does not look like it's going to be that tall. I did not think you were gonna be able to over rotate a front flip from this angle, man. That smack definitely was heard around the world. Not an enjoyable situation, to say the least, but at least you got it on film.
Wait for him to pull on first, and then run out.
Oh my gosh. The golfer in this situation is just shaking. Oh my gosh. Imagine the fear, bro. Imagine you hit a golf ball all zany, you walk over, you find it laying next to somebody that appears to be unconscious. Do you like run away and get another golf ball? Do you say something? I don't know, man. It looks like this guy's going through that exact emotion right now. The panic in his face.
I never asked for this.
Aw, crap, dude. Not again. I don't mean to kill people when I golf. Why am I always cursed about this stuff? Oh my gosh, dude. He's like, yo, this guy just came back from the dead. Walking Dead was accurate. Carl, get in the house, Carl. That's an old reference, dude. That joke was probably more outdated than, like, I don't know, Milk from 1954. Oh my goodness. I don't know how he was able to keep it together. I feel like if I was trying to go through with this, I would just start laughing because I'd be like, all right, man, there's no way I'm going to be able to convince this dude. He actually just knocked me out with a golf ball. Next thing you know, he starts apologizing. You find yourself in court for an insurance scam. No thanks. I don't want to take the risk. I don't want to know Judge Judy. Oh no. Scary maze game. Scary maze game. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, Lord. Oh, please, please don't do it. The fear is going to be absolutely nuts. If one of these swords ends up going to the TV or through the TV, you can't even be surprised, bro. This is an internet classic. That being said, not something that you want to do. Oh, no. Oh, come on. I just want it to pop, dude. It's giving me anxiety just waiting for it to go off. I feel like, oh, Lord. Oh, man. Yeah, they're never trusting you again, dude. That's a good way to make sure your kid has a phobia of anything you put on the TV. All right, Mom, listen. If there's a jump scare in this one, you are officially losing remote privileges, all right? I'm not afraid to take that away from you. She's like, what do you mean? This is my TV. Seriously, though, I feel like that was kind of messed up to post on TikTok. They're going to be like 27 years old watching footage of them 5 being traumatized forever.
What do you want to know from me? Ask me.
Well, how is it? Oh no, look at that face.
This is not pad thai at all.
Gordon Ramsay being insulted for the first time in his life. He's like, what?
Come on, and why is it still popping up? Ugh. What a nerd.
Wait a second. I don't know if I like how this is on the other side. Usually I'm the one calling everyone an idiot sandwich. I didn't realize that something was going to be critiquing my food. If I knew that was afoot, I would have never agreed to come here.
It's not pad thai. No.
Pad Thai have to be sweet, sour, and salty.
I think that doesn't taste too bad. It's not perfect.
For you.
Oh, he doesn't know what to do. He's like, what? Is this how it feels? Is this how everyone on my show has felt? No, don't let it be so, please, no. Anyways, guys, I think that's probably a good note to end it on. Mr. Gordon Ramsay having a die inside moment means that all of us are human. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to press the like button. Let me know in the comments section down below what you thought. And of course, subscribe if you're new and turn on notifications. If you really want to help me out, comment die inside down below. That way, you know, we hit recommended a little bit. If you really want to help me out, I'll put a link to the intro song down below, along with the link to my podcast, The Scuffed Cast. Or you could use code SCRUBBY at the G Fuel checkout. Great way to get a discount on G Fuel. Help me out at the same time, so go ahead and do that. And yeah, on that note, guys, that'll do it. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.
Get it jumping, I'm just trying to get some hands up. I've been thinking, yeah, my mind is pretty jammed up. No, I'm immature, but I don't want to man up. And no, I don't do emotions, I just clam up. Got some people that don't really like me, but they faker than some flea market Nikes. Fuck around and blow 300 on a white tee. I don't wear a chain, but I'm still looking icy. I stay protected like I got an eye of Horus. Shit be catchy and it's not even the chorus. Skipping's cool like my name was Zach Morris. Only problem is I'm more f***ing gorgeous. That was a joke, no, I'm not tripping.
Property, and every time he would come try to mess with us while we were playing Nerf in the backyard, he would spray him with the hose. And that was like our signal to be careful, you know, like, oh, the hose is going, he's here, like, get ready, he might shoot at us with the airsoft gun. That kid was just the worst, though. I will say it's not his fault. He was a kid. Like, he did suck when we were kids. Don't get it wrong. We didn't like each other. But in retrospect, now that I'm older, I think most of that was the parents. Like, if you're backing up your kid in every scenario, making them think they're never wrong, that's not a good thing, because sometimes they're going to be wrong. Anyways, though, he did end up moving like 6 months later after all of this went down. And after he moved, I don't know where he moved. He didn't go to our school anymore, and I have no clue where he is now. So for all I know, bro, he's like Jack Dorsey. He made Twitter. He's a billionaire now. I guess I have no clue. Maybe it did work out for him. Regardless, that's why we did not want to play Nerf with him, bro, because he would bite you, he would cheat, and most importantly, his mom would like come out and just kind of stalk you for a while, and nobody wants that to happen, dude. Nobody. Anyways, guys, I know this was a longer video, but hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I would appreciate you taking a second to press the like button. Let me know in the comments section down below what you thought, and subscribe if you're new and turn on those notifications. If you don't know what to comment, I would really appreciate you commenting the word Nerf down below. It helps my video do better. Other than that, if you really want to help me out additionally, you can check out the intro song linked down below, or my podcast, The Scuffed Cast, which you can also find in the description. And if you're in the market for G Fuel, the best energy drink for gamers by gamers, if you use code SCRUBBY at the checkout, you'll get a discount, and it helps me out. Everybody's a winner. And last but certainly not least, I did go ahead and put some of my story times on Spotify, so if you want to listen to those on there, that link will be at the top of the description. Feel free to go do it. And yeah, on that note, don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I've got a story time for you guys that I think you're going to enjoy, about a spoiled kid getting shut down because he just like expected everybody to do his homework for him. It's even weirder when you figure out the kid was in college, but yeah, that's the story time we got today. It should be enjoyable, but before we get into it, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam, you're gonna end up with this kid in your group project, and trust me, that's gonna be no fun. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, so the person who sent this in said that this story took place in their freshman year of college. They ended up being in a class with one of their dorm mates, which is probably like worst case scenario, dude. I'm not saying my dorm mates were the absolute worst, right? A couple of them were really cool, but I definitely had some that like if I had to see other than already living with them, I probably would have lost my mind. And it just so happened that the dorm mate he shared a class with happened to be one of the kids who like had really rich parents and expected everything to just be handed to him on a silver platter. And regardless, they ended up getting a project in this class that was a group project, and it was him, the kid he shared a dorm with, and some other kids that were in a group having to work together. So naturally, since 2 of them already lived together, that's just like where they went to work on the project, because it's easier when 2 people are just already there. So they go over there and they start talking, and pretty quickly the spoiled kid is like, all right, you guys got this, so I'm gonna go out with my girlfriend. When I come back, you know, we'll just wrap it up. And everybody in the group project kind of looks at him confused and is like, what are you talking about? I guess in his mind, he thought that somehow, because he was providing the space for the group to work, in his own words, it meant that he wouldn't have had to stay there and actually do any work with the group project. He compared it to like being a landlord. I'm using his own explanation. He said that because they were using his room to work, it just made sense that he wouldn't have to be present because he wasn't charging them for the time. Somewhere along this line, bro, this kid had been told that his time was so valuable that he could like charge rent for people to be in his presence, dude, to use his room. Obviously, the other 2 guys don't really know what to say because they don't know him at all, and his roommate is kind of like, yeah, but that's not how it works. Under that logic, wouldn't I not need to do any work either? Which is technically the truth. It's both of their rooms, so, you know, if that's the way it's gonna work, the people who live there don't have to do work, then neither of them do. And the spoiled kid is like, yeah, but the difference is, like, you're supposed to do stuff for me because everybody knows that, like, you kind of need me to be your friend. And obviously, that really insulted the subscriber. He's like, what are you talking about? Well, apparently this rich kid had convinced himself that everybody was just obsessed with him. They all knew how much money his parents had, and so he was just kind of aware of the fact that they were gonna do the group project for him if it meant that he was gonna be their friend. Which, listen, man, kinda not the case, like, especially not in a college scenario, whatever. I'm sure in high school people would do your homework to be friends with a popular kid or whatever. I still think that's insanely stupid. You shouldn't do that. It's not worth it. But, like, in college, bro, no one's gonna do all your work to be your friend. Obviously, the subscriber was like, yeah, that's not the case. We're not even really friends. We're more like just dorm mates. And the spoiled kid literally is like, no, dude, trust me, everybody wants to be my friend. He literally says that, which, like, listen, man, I'm sorry, nobody's cool to the point where everybody wants to be your friend. And even then, you're not allowed to say that about yourself. Like, calling yourself so cool that everyone wants to be your friend is like your mom calling you handsome. It's just kind of technically required. Like, let's be honest, if you're training for, or you're reasoning, I guess, not training, for why you're attractive is your mom said so, I've got bad news for you, bro. They have to say that. Oh, my son's the most handsome. It just is what it is. That's the equivalent of this dude. Like, oh, everyone wants to be my friend because I'm awesome. Yeah, okay, buddy. Not everybody wants to be your friend, especially when you suck like that. At that point, the people in the group project are also fed up, and they're like, we're not gonna do your work for you. No, you have to stay and help with the project. And he's kind of like, no, that's not how this is gonna go down. If that's how you guys are gonna be, then I don't want you using my room for the project. Well, the dorm mate is like, all right, well, we can use my side of the room. So they move over 3 feet, and they're like, you can't leave or you're not getting on the project. And he says, and I quote, you guys don't have the balls to take my name off the project because you guys need me to be your friend. And he gets up and says he's gonna go hang out with his girlfriend. Well, at that point, I don't think he realized that, like, yeah, bro, this is college. You're working with adults. It's not like a bunch of 15-year-olds that are intimidated by the fact that you're popular anymore, right? So they just did the work, agreed to not meet in this dorm room anymore, and then all emailed the teacher separately explaining what happened. They made sure their stories, like, made sense, and were like, for this reason, we would like him to be removed from the project. And so the next day, they wake up and his dorm mate's like, oh, thanks for all the work you guys did. It was awesome. And he straight up tells the dude, yeah, no, but we're taking you off the project. Like, letting you know now, we already emailed the teacher, so when we go in today, don't be surprised when she, like, moves you away from us and makes you do your own thing. And he starts getting pissed, saying it was so unfair and rude of them to do that, and, you know, he was never gonna be their friend now. And once again, the subscriber looks at him and is like, dude, I don't care about being your friend. Like, I don't know why you keep saying that like some big threat. You being friends with me literally does not change the fact that I'm not gonna do your work for you just because you're, like, rich, dude. I don't care how rich your parents are, I'm not doing everything for you. And sure enough, he kind of got really pissed off. They go to class, though, and the rich kid was kind of hoping nothing was gonna happen. But the teacher kind of says that he's gonna have to do his own project, and when he does that, like the teacher tells him that,
his reaction is, do you have any idea who my dad is and how much money he gives to this school? Like, do you have any idea how much of a mistake it is to move me off this project? I wouldn't do that if I were you. And at that point, the teacher, the professor, I guess I should say, is like, oh, are you really gonna try to name drop your dad right now because you left everyone to do the work on your group project? And he was like, yeah, because that's how it is. Like, the fact that my dad gives all this money to the school means that I get treated differently. And the teacher looks at him and goes, yeah, that might have been the case a while ago, but I got tenure. Your dad can't get me fired. You're doing your project on your own. And for those of you that don't know yet, college professors, once they get tenure, it's like really hard to fire them, even if you donate a lot to the school, right? So the kid kind of is sitting there in shock, probably because he's never been told no before. And then he turns to the guys that like kicked him out the project, and he starts saying how they were really bad friends for doing that to him. And they kind of point out that like, yeah, but you do realize you were equally a bad friend because you were going to leave us to do all the work and you didn't feel bad about it. Like, you were literally going to leave us to do everything and go hang out with your girlfriend. And he's like, yeah, but you know, I really wanted to go do that, so you guys should have just done the project. It was really like no one had ever told this kid no before. Like, you know what most people have to do, bro? They do their homework and then they go hang out with their girlfriend. Like, that just is what it is. You can't always expect your friends to do like all of your homework for you in every situation, you know, especially when they're not your friends. They're just random dudes that were in your group at a school. Dude, you guys definitely need stuff from me, so you owe me. Yeah, but if they've never asked for anything or needed anything from you, then they don't owe you. Like, not everybody just automatically owes you. Anyways, they get into a little argument. The professor shuts that down quick and says that if he's gonna keep causing problems, then, like, he needs to leave. So he says he's gonna go down to the office right now and get this straightened out and blah, 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 so he goes. And he swears he's going to be back with some reprimanding for the professor. So he goes to the office to complain and try to get his class changed or drop it or whatever. And college classes really aren't cheap, you know. I think basically everybody knows that it can cost like a small liver to go to college. Obviously, this dude's parents were rich if they were donating money to the school. But he ended up just having to drop the class, which messed up his like schedule to graduate and whatnot because he was so embarrassed that he refused to go back in there and talk to the teacher. Obviously, he told everybody it was because the teacher was like discriminating against him because of his last name and yada yada yada. That just was not the case in the slightest. So whatever, people kind of figured it out pretty quick, and yeah, he basically wasted like $700 on this class that he had to drop because it was too late to get his money back, and he literally had to stay for an extra semester to graduate, because the way that college classes are scheduled here, if you mess up once, like if you drop it too late and can't replace it, then you're just SOL, there's no way to get those credits back. So all of that because he just expected people to do his homework. I bet you that's not working out for him too well, and I'm gonna venture to say that he eventually had to learn to just do his own work. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, I'd really appreciate you taking a second to press the like button. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought. If you're new, subscribe and turn on those notifications. If you really want to help out the channel, you can check out the intro song. A link to it will be down below. My podcast, The Scuffed Cast, can also be found in the description. And if you really want to help out, you can use code SCRUBBY at the G Fuel checkout. That gets you G Fuel at a discount, and it helps me out, so everyone's a winner. And if you really want to support me, then go ahead and take a look at your screen now. On screen, you'll see the coolest merch to ever exist in the history of the planet, which can also be yours by taking a trip down to the description and clicking the Teespring link and buying it. But yeah, on that note, guys, I think that's everything I gotta plug. I really appreciate all your support. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and I'm out. Peace. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am, and today I've got a story time for y'all that I think you're going to enjoy about this spoiled kid that got destroyed by his crush. Yeah, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. This was a subscriber story that was sent in, but nonetheless, it had the embarrassment that should need to be a story time, so that's what we're going to be doing today. But before we get into it, no joke, no scam whatsoever, be sure to press the like button. That's right, switcheroo on it. Otherwise, guys, you will get rejected this hard, and trust me, you don't want that. So be sure to press the like button, and yeah, without further ado, let's get into it.
Nice rack and her ass Brazilian. Just turned 21, but my bank's $1 million.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as y'all know, every now and then you run into somebody that is a little bit spoiled, you know, whether it's their parents doing everything for them just taking the credit card, buying it themselves. Some people are very, very entitled and think they just own the planet. And this story's about one of those people just having to interact with them. The subscriber who sent this in, I'm gonna name Tony for the purpose of today's video. And Tony was just a normal dude, you know, nothing too crazy. Not like he was, you know, a crazy athlete or anything. It's not like he's a multi-millionaire stock trader. He was just a dude. And Tony was just the type of guy where, you know, he would show up to school, hang out with his friends, but during class he would just be quiet. And for some reason, whenever you're a quiet person like Tony, he says that, like, people really just open up to you for some reason, even if they don't know you, they don't know your opinions on anything. Like, if you're just quiet, people will just keep talking. And for whatever reason, Tony sat next to a kid who I'm gonna name, you know what, we'll name him Chad, because Chad's the name that's pretty fitting of him. And Chad would basically just like talk to Tony all day. Tony wouldn't say much because he was a quiet kid, all about how, you know, his parents were just trying to ruin his life because this summer he wanted to go to Cabo, but they were just gonna make him spend the summer on his parents' ranch instead. Like that type of stuff, you know. And because Tony would be quiet, I think he thought they were homies, so he was just constantly complaining about things. And when I say that Chad was spoiled, I mean he was like crazy spoiled. Obviously, it's one thing to like get mad at your parents for not doing what you want to do, which is still kind of ridiculous, but even beyond that, if your parents are like, we can't go to Mexico for a month, so instead we're going to go to the ranch that we own all summer. That seems like a pretty fair trade-off, all things considered. But beyond that, some of the stuff that he would complain about was that his cleaning lady that he had to clean his room and his bathroom would clean stuff too well. And he didn't like when she would put stuff away because then he wouldn't know where it was because he never bothered to learn where it is. And he seriously was considering if he should talk to his parents about firing her because she was putting his stuff away too much. Like, that was the stuff he was complaining about. And what's wild is, like, you know, for some reason I feel like the most surprising thing about spoiled kids is that their parents don't really say no to them. Like, you would think most parents in that situation would go, "You're on crack. We pay the cleaning lady to clean up. The reason your stuff isn't where you put it is because you don't put it away. Your room is a mess. So no, we're not gonna fire the lady who does her job." But whenever he would complain about something like this or have a situation, you know, where he would tell his parents to do something, they would just do it. No questions asked, you know, it didn't matter how dumb it was or whether or not it was logical. It was like they were afraid to tell their baby boy no. Anyways, one day he shows up in class and he starts telling Tony that he has a crush and it's someone in the class, you know, and he kind of figures it's gonna be someone that maybe is equally rambunctious or annoying. Not in a mean way, it's just what he would assume. But Chad says that he has a crush on this other quiet girl in the class. And, you know, it just so happened that Tony was friends with the girl that he said that he had a crush on, and he knew for a fact that she was 100% not interested. And he knew that because Chad was somebody that they would make fun of all the time. Like, not in a mean way, you know, when like you just know somebody and they're just such a character, you can't help but make fun of them a little bit, so you and your friends making an inside joke to like impersonate them. That was kind of the situation at hand. So he kind of tries to warn Chad a little bit. He goes, "Hey man, I actually know her pretty well, and I think she's talking to someone." He tries to avoid the whole, "she thinks you're mega cringe," because obviously nobody wants to have to like tell somebody that they're insanely cringe. That's just not a crazy fun conversation to have, obviously. And for whatever reason, dude, instead of being a normal person and going, "Oh, okay, then I won't," Chad goes, "Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'll be able to get her to like me." Like, he's just, it doesn't matter. This dude really thought he had what it takes to swoop in and get the finesse. And, you know, Tony tried to really want to flirt with her, and he's like, "Whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna flirt with her. Instead, what I'm thinking about is the dance coming up." And he was like, "I'm gonna ask her to the dance. I'm gonna have people come into our classroom with balloons. I'm gonna have them do like this big, huge gesture and ask her to the dance, because even if I haven't talked to her before, it'll put her in a spot where she can't say no." And Tony knew her, so obviously he tells him again, he's like, "Listen, man, she hates being the center of attention. Don't do that. She's not going to like this big gesture in front of the class. I promise you." But you know, Chad, just knowing better, figures that he knows exactly what's going to work. So he goes through, spends some of his parents' money on like these people that are going to come into his class with a balloon and this big sign asking this girl to the dance. And, you know, Tony is literally telling him, like, every day not to do it. And finally, he lets his friend know what's going to happen. And his friend is like, he does realize I'm going to reject him in front of everyone, right? Like, it doesn't matter if it's a big gesture or not. I understand he thinks it's gonna, like, make me not reject him. I'm still going to say no. It's just going to embarrass him way more to get rejected in front of everybody. And Tony's like, yeah, trust me, I've been telling him that. He just doesn't really seem to care that much. He thinks somehow it's gonna work. It was like because mom and dad had never told him no before, he didn't even feel like it not working was a possibility. This is 100% going to work. It does not matter. So whatever, he's going through with it. His friend knows. If she is going to reject him, he warns him one more time, and Chad is like, dude, you don't know what you're talking about. You've never asked a girl to a dance before, so just shut up. And at that point, you know, all bets are off. Why would Tony keep talking? If you're gonna tell me to shut up and, like, keep my mouth shut when I'm trying to warn you and save you from embarrassment, then by all means, dude, I feel like you've earned it at that point. You know, if you've done everything in your power to tell him, hey, dude, you're about to embarrass yourself, and they just say, shut up, you're stupid, then you're not really that at fault for keeping your mouth shut after that. So obviously, he kind of lets him keep planning his thing, and finally, the day comes where he plans to have this big group of people come in, ask her to the dance, all this stuff. And I'm not going to say her name because, you know, to save from the embarrassment. So I'm going to make one up for her. I'm going to call her Alice because, you know, Alice just, she's the hero the city deserved, but they didn't know they needed, or whatever the Batman's saying. The day comes, sure enough, everybody is in class waiting for the moment, and Tony is just kind of hoping that for whatever reason, Chad has had a change of heart, you know, he's decided to back out of this at the last second, but sure enough, in the middle of class, an English class, by the way, where they were writing an essay, so it's dead quiet, everyone is focused on their own work. Literally the worst day you could possibly have people come into class and cause a huge disruption. Everyone's sitting there quietly writing the essays, and the door just swings open, and it's this group of kids. They're playing Katy Perry on the radio, and they're like, whoa! Oh, they're just screaming. They're not even singing along. They're just incoherently screaming, and they walk in holding balloons, and then two of them unfurl this big sign, and it says, like, the dance name. I'm gonna say homecoming because I don't know what dance it was. They didn't tell me. Alice, will you go to homecoming with me? And it, like, is such a long banner that it takes up the entire class. One end's over by the teacher's desk, the other one's by the door. They have this huge thing of balloons and flowers, and everyone looks over at Alice to see what she's doing, and she is literally, like, hiding inside of her hoodie. You know when they pull their hoodie up, trying to do the creeper hoodie thing where they zip it up, but you don't have the zipper hoodie? So you're just, like, trying to pull it over your head even though it won't go there. She is literally trying to hide because the embarrassment is too strong. You know, I understand he thought it was a great gesture, but some people just don't like to have that stuff going down in public. And she didn't even know this dude. Like, they had never talked or flirted before. He just thought this would be a great introduction. And so he goes up there, and then it gets worse. The group starts to do, like, the flash mob thing. And I thought those went out of style in 2011, all right? It's already bad enough. Who in their right mind wants to do a flash mob in the year 2021, ladies and gentlemen? Imagine sitting there going, all right, we need a coordinated dance number so we can be more like a musical. I want to be like Cats, as much like Cats as humanly possible. Like, that was a real thought that they decided to have for some reason. So whatever, they do this little flash mob dance thing to the song, and then finally they're like, ah, ba ba ba, and Chad finishes and goes, Alice, will you go to homecoming with me? And she is still hiding. She didn't watch the dance number. She was not really down to, you know, be involved in any way, shape, or form. Jumping for joy. Alice comes here, and so she goes over and kind of like pulls Alice up to the front of the class, and she's literally still hiding. And Tony is just watching this entire thing, like laughing and also feeling mortified at the same time. Obviously, you're gonna laugh at it, because how can you not? This dude's about to get rejected after committing to learning a flash mob dance. That's just pure hysterity, no matter how you look at it, right? But at the same time, watching your friend get embarrassed on this level has got to be brutal. So, sure enough, they're all up there. Chad is like, what'd you think? And she goes, it was something. Like, that's literally the words that she says. And at that point, the class starts to laugh a little bit because, like, you know, they're also thinking the same thing. Like, wow, this is awful. And the fact that she hates it too makes it, like, more okay to laugh at. You know, you would feel bad laughing at it if they both thought it was great. But the fact that she's not interested makes it funnier. And so he starts to get irritated, and he's like, wow, you really think it was like not great that I planned this all for you? And she's like, I mean, don't get me wrong, thank you, but I'm not really a fan of dance numbers or anything, so like it's just something. And he starts to get annoyed, and Chad's like, are you kidding me? Like, I could have asked anyone. And she goes, awesome, then you won't mind when I say I don't want to go with you, no. And Chad's face like freezes up, bro. It's like almost as if he thought that was magically gonna make her go, oh no, you're right, I should want to go with you. Because he starts to be like, wait, you're saying no? You're saying no? And everyone in the class starts to laugh again at that point, because how could you not, dude? It was almost like literally the word no could not compute that he had just been rejected. And Chad starts to tear up a bit, but he's doing the thing where like he's trying to act like he's not crying. And he's like, why would you say no? Why would you say no? And Alice decides to point out at that point the very obvious thing, which was, I don't, we've never really had a conversation before. I don't like big gestures. I'm really embarrassed by what is happening right now. Like, no, that is why I'm saying no. I don't know who you are. And he's like, but I planned all this out for you. I did a flash mob. And she goes, the fatality move. Okay, cool. Those were awesome. Like, and that was the kill. At that point, the tears start flowing. He had been holding it back at that point, but he's like, you can't tell me no, while he's crying. And at that point, his friends that had come in to like help him ask, like kind of pull him out of the classroom, right? They're kind of like, all right, we got to get you out of here, bro. But he was dramatically upset. And as soon as he leaves, everyone in the class just starts like hysterically laughing because of how awkward it was to watch that go down, bro. Like, obviously that would just make any classroom have to laugh. And so everyone's laughing. They hear him and his friends kind of yelling about it outside and walking down the hall, and everybody's just giggling about it. And, you know, I think in Chad's mind, he was like, whatever, I got rejected, but I can still save this. But of course, by the time they like get to lunch, everyone and their mom at the school has heard about it, because it's not every day somebody like organizes a flash mob just to get rejected, dude. That's something everyone's gonna be talking about. It's nothing personal, you just gotta accept it. And obviously all day people were like making fun of him, dude, doing like little steps of the dance move just to make him upset. And I mean, it was working, because that had to hurt. But honestly, I don't really know what he expected. Like, the entitlement to just not know someone at all, assume they're going to love your dance number, like, it's just all a little much, bro. You know what I'm saying? I will say that definitely probably knocked him down a peg. He didn't really talk to Tony too much after that because, you know, he blamed him a little bit. But he did kind of stop talking about the lifestyle, stop flexing a little bit. It was almost as if he realized that he's not always going to win everything by default. So, you know, I guess that's good. You're still the weird flash mob dude, though. Like, you're always going to have that on your back. That's never going to change. But, yeah, anyways, guys, I think that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I would really appreciate you taking a second to press the like button. Let me know in the comments section down below what you thought of the video. And if you're new, you might as well subscribe and turn on those notifications. I've been posting, and you know, you don't want to miss another video. Other than that, if you really want to help me out, you can, of course, check out a link to the intro song down below, along with a link to my podcast, The Scuffed Cast, which is pretty great. Or if you're a fan of G Fuel, the best energy drink for gamers by gamers, ladies and gentlemen, if you're at their website getting yourself some, use code SCRUBBY at the checkout to get a discount and help me out. And last but certainly not least, as y'all know, it is October. Halloween is upon us. And because of that, I made the Halloween merch. It's on your screen now, and as you can tell, it's pretty fantastic. And I'll put a link to that at the top of the description, so go ahead and get that. But on that note, guys, that's everything I gotta plug. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and hopefully I will see each and every single one of you guys next time with another video. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and I'm out. Peace. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrubby here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am, and today I've got a story time for y'all that I think you're going to enjoy about this spoiled kid that stole his mom's jewelry and then gambled it away at school. Wouldn't recommend doing this, but be sure to press the like button. And no joke, no scam. Your kid's gonna steal all of your valuables, and you don't want that. And without further ado, let's go.
Nice rack and her ass Brazilian just turned 21.
Alright, so I guess at this particular school, tetherball was the game that, like, everybody played. You know, if you were going to make yourself an athlete here, tetherball was the game you had to make yourself good at. And naturally, whenever the entire school is playing a game, it like becomes insanely popular. You had crowds of kids watching tetherball, you had multiple games going at a time, and naturally, when something got popular and there was winners and losers, people started to make things a little bit more interesting than just a straight up match. You know, they would gamble a little bit, and I think that's probably not a good idea. I feel like gambling on tetherball is probably one of the easiest ways to make sure you lose everything you're gambling, but hey, to each their own. They would bet, you know, Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards. If somebody had like a homework pass, that was on the table. Sometimes, if people were really crazy, they'd bring real money, but you know, not many of them had it. But there was one kid in particular who was quite a fan of the gambling, and that was this kid named Reggie. And Reggie was an insanely spoiled kid. His parents just had way too much money. They would get him whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted, and because of that, he always had just like extra toys, extra stuff to bring to school and, you know, bet on tetherball. And you would think that somebody that's gonna bet everything on tetherball would be good at it. They'd practice a lot, maybe because he's a rich kid, he makes his parents like buy him a tetherball court in the backyard so he can practice. You would think that one way or another, if you're constantly gambling at a sport, you would get a little bit good at it. But no, this Reggie kid was basically always losing whenever he would gamble. Like, literally, it got to the point where all the good tetherball players would see him walk up and be like, hey man, do you want to play? Because they knew that he would bring something that he wouldn't be able to not gamble and lose. This guy was literally basically funding, like, all of these really good tetherball kids, like, lunch money, you know? They would take some Pokemon cards and sell them. And eventually, him gambling on these tetherball games got so bad that he had, like, lost all of his Pokemon cards. He didn't have any of his toys left. He didn't have any money. And, you know, he obviously gets to this point, and this is not a good thing. This is how you know you're addicted to gambling, where he's telling himself that if he just had a little bit more stuff to bet, he could win it all back, because, you know, he's really close to a good luck streak. And obviously, he's begging all these people that he's lost all these Pokemon cards and toys to play him again. And at this point, they don't really want to play him again, because they've got everything to lose. There's nothing left to get. So they're like, all right, the only way I'm ever going to play you again and give you a chance to win everything back is if, you know, you make the bet very interesting. Like, you got to bring something to school that we can bet about that, you know, isn't cheap. And listen, at this point, I gotta say that these kids were probably just realizing that this kid would do anything. He was addicted to playing tetherball. So they weren't exactly the nicest about it. You know, they didn't have to tell him that he should bring expensive stuff to school, but he did anyways. They did too, so like, whatever, I'm not in charge of them. And listen, you would think at this point, if they're like, I'm only going to keep taking stuff from you if the stuff gets more expensive, you would think, okay, maybe I should stop gambling. Like, if everybody's just telling me that they want me to bring more expensive stuff because I'm so easy to beat, I should just quit. But no, of course not. This guy had deluded himself into thinking he had the secret sauce at tetherball. He'd just been on an insane bad luck streak. So he knows that he can't bring anything cheap. He doesn't have any Pokemon cards or toys left. So he decides that he's gonna steal some of his mom's jewelry to gamble. As I said,